Being chairman.
There you go, Catherine, we're on.
All right.
We're here.
Chairman?
Pat's not here.
Thought she was downstairs.
Today being, I don't even know what the date is. Somebody tell-
The 8th.
January 8th.
Excellent.
It's 4:30. Thank God Pat's here. Let this meeting of the Tilton Board of Selectmen come to order. Yay, Pat Constantino has arrived. We'll take a few seconds for Pat to get herself
Adjust herself.
situated and... I'm sorry.
Well,
That's all right.
sorry.
I'll forgive you. You came.
Waiting for brother to get out of surgery.
I don't think you ever have to be sorry. You sure?
Stuff.
Where's at this table?
All right. Did I get my laptop? Okay. So let the record show John is on his way, right?
Read number
Yes.
3.
Okay. So we have approval of minutes.
What you were saying. I make a motion to bring the minutes of December 11th, December 17th, December 18th, and December 22nd, and December 29th to the floor for discussion. Take that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. December 18th on
Yeah,
page 1.
yeah.
That's not right.
Town Administrator Joyce Fullwiler, where it starts a hearing. The first part of this is talking about Northfield and their action, and then all of a sudden it just says a hearing for Empire scheduled for January 8th. I thought that we should be explicit that a hearing before the Tilton Board of Selectmen for Empire is scheduled for January 8th.
That would be, right, but that would be on us, because we didn't really specify that last, during the meeting.
Right, I'm just
Where are
saying.
you, Captain? I'm lost.
Okay, December 18th.
Aren't we gonna start with the 11th?
Oh, I only had the 3.
We have 11, 17, 18.
No, when I pulled up my email, I only had
And 29.
18.
There should be 11, 17, 18, and 22, and 29.
Oh, that's not what came in the email.
Look in your folder.
No, I made copies for you.
Oh,
in
no,
your-
sorry, I
They're in
just
your
went by the
new
email.
folder.
I thought we
Catherine
got
will
them
be
on the
okay.
email. All right, then I'll hold
More
that
or
until we
less.
get to it.
All right. Let's hold it. Go the 11th.
Some people was already doing the 11th.
I thought we'd gotten them all in that email.
I glanced over it last night. I didn't see anything that jumped out at me.
These were probably done before we asked that the selectmen be referred to selectmen and last name. On page 1, it says Catherine. I don't mind, but I think we should just be consistent.
And it should have your name, because 40 years from now, Catherine who?
Yeah, exactly, so it should say SEL.Dawson, which is what we did.
The rest of it says SEL.
There it is.
On page 3, it talks about raising $5,000 for the School Street sidewalk. At this meeting, did we discuss that money wouldn't have to be raised because it's already in the
It's already
reserve
in the
fund?
budget.
Reserve fund, right.
Or was that in another meeting?
It was already in the budget.
And it could
I
have
know,
been
it was-
at
I know,
another
it was-
meeting, though.
No, it was
Yeah.
this meeting, but we did discuss, it was already,
We discussed it at one time, but I
Right.
just don't remember if it was at this meeting.
Right,
Well, how would she know otherwise?
right.
She reviews the tapes and writes down what's on the tape.
did we put that all on the same line yet?
Well, it might not have come up at this meeting. This might have been the first time we talked about it, and it never occurred to anyone that it was already in the reserve fund. It might have been at a subsequent meeting.
I'm just wondering if we actually moved it, so it's all in one line, because it should be. Paving is paving. It's paving. Do we have that done yet, the handicap swap over there on Mechanic Street yet?
I think he erected a sign, but do I remember that he wasn't going to paint it until spring? I think a sign's been put up, I don't know. Maybe we were lucky enough to have him get it in before the snow.
Is there any more questions or corrections, additions to the December 11th?
No, I make a motion to accept.
I have one. It's Arthur Demas, not Al, on,
That'll let her know. She listens to it.
okay, under Selectmen's Reports, page 5. Other than that, all those in, oh, no, we're going to vote on all of them, right?
Yeah, we'll vote them all in.
Okay. So now we're on December 17th. We would have 3 cars in the program every year for $32,000 from the operating budget, starting in 2017. Thought it was, we would have 16,000 in the,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
I thought we had 3 cars, and then we would have 2 cars, and then it would be 1 car.
One car.
Why are we, so that we would have
Well,
3 cars in the program every year for $32,000?
I was going to object to that definitive statement any year, because it really is going to depend on if we even vote to purchase a car in that year. We may have enough cars. The selectmen may decide, you know what, we have enough cars. You know, what if we downsize the department?
Yeah,
I mean, do you know what I mean?
I have dreams about that.
To be that definitive about, we're going to have 3 cars in the program every year, I mean, it would say, you know, at the most, we would have, or something. But
I think the discussion was so that we would have 3 cars in the program every year.
Right.
Now, what we do in the future is what we do in the future.
Where
but
they
this is
come
a
from.
record of that particular meeting, so.
I think that is what was stated, you're right.
All right. Is there any more additions or corrections to go with December 17th? Okay, let's move on.
December 18th.
Okay, so,
Back to Catherine.
first paragraph, down where it says "a hearing," about the 3rd line down.
Oh, which ones, Catherine?
On what page?
December 18th, page 1.
Okay.
Town Administrator Joyce Fullaway, agenda items.
Yep,
Third line.
a requirement.
Says, "A hearing for Empire scheduled for January 8th." I think we should just make it clear that that hearing's before the Tilton Board of Selectmen. So people don't think it was with
Oh,
Northfield.
I get it. I see where you're going. So we'll just,
Just add before the Tilton Board of Selectmen. Oh, it didn't print on both sides.
okay,
Makes sense.
On page 2, first paragraph, down towards the bottom, it says, talks about, it's up to the owner to voluntarily merge the lots. It sounds like he has to by that definitive statement, but he doesn't have to. I think it should say the owner could voluntarily merge the lots, although they are both buildable lots of records.
The owner has the right to merge the lots?
If he wishes to,
So he has the right to.
he could merge them, but the way it says it now, it sounds like,
So it should say the owner has the right to merge the lots.
yeah, something that indicates that
So
he's
take out
not
it's up to-
obligated to merge them.
So take out, it's up to the
I
owner.
know it says voluntarily.
But that doesn't mean obligated, it means voluntarily,
I
right?
know, but it still it is up to, I guess I don't like, it is up to the owner to voluntarily merge the lots. In other words, it sounds like to me, if he doesn't voluntarily do it, we're going to make him do it.
No, if he doesn't voluntarily do it, he's going to get a big tax bill.
I know, but it's not
So
clear.
it's up to him.
It's not clear here that that's what's going to happen.
So
To
it's
me,
up-
it isn't.
So it's up to the owner, he has the right to merge the lots.
Just so long as it indicates that if he, that he doesn't have to.
Dun, 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 dun.
Where it says WRTA, Selectman Dawson prepared, I just put draft. Because
drafted.
I prepared a draft letter of agreement. In other words, I sent a suggestion out to them. I didn't want it to show that I wrote the letter of agreement, although they did take it verbatim. But what I sent them, for me, was a draft.
Prepared a draft letter.
And then down again, Catherine Dawson, Selectman Dawson had prepared I want to put draft in there. And then where it says WRTA has agreed to sign the letter, I said, agreed to use the draft letter. Because it's a draft until it's official. Then down, it says insurance claim. I think it should say an accident, instead of just accident.
What page you on?
Page 2,
Page 2.
the fourth paragraph.
And then on page 3, under Selectman Jessamine, it ends that Selectman Jessamine wants everyone to know that they should have been included. She left out the conversation where I stated that they were invited by the park commissioners, as they have every year, invited them. So I wanted it to be sure to say that, Dawson informed the board that the park commissioners did invite the Northfield Selectmen to participate, as they have each year.
And you were indeed correct on that point, Catherine.
Or something to that effect.
Any other corrections?
We're only on page 3 here. Give Catherine a chance.
Are you done, Catherine?
Wasn't mine, yep.
Those are corrections.
Really?
He's done.
I read them earlier.
On with the show.
December 22nd.
Here we go. Catherine? Any corrections, Catherine, on 22nd?
How come we have two of these?
Because you printed them up, remember?
I know. That's really weird. Yeah, I have a couple on the 22nd. I figured that out. I've been having copier trouble all day.
So you've been drinking coffee?
Copier trouble. Well, I don't see any on the 22nd.
Are you sure?
I had some. You know what? They didn't come through.
So be it.
Okay, we're on to the 29th.
Oh, no, I found one.
Of course.
Page 1, first paragraph. Selectman Dawson asked the chief if there anything he could purchase. If there is. It's a little one, but it's one.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Is that it, Catherine?
That was it.
So,
So be it.
moving on.
Lord, have mercy.
All right, we have the 29th.
It's really strange about those ones. Under where it says finance on the first page. Concrete for the police department vehicle impoundment. I put impound yard. Just makes it a little more clear exactly what we're doing. On page 2, just above town administrator, or begins Casella,
Yep.
I just put a question there. They're talking about the meeting Tim is, and he suggested it would be more efficient for Casella to meet with Tim, Joyce, and Dennis, blah, 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 and make a recommendation to the board for a decision. Did we agree to that?
Yeah, the meeting's set.
So, I mean, I just
We
think we
agreed
should
to it.
say that the Board of Selectmen concurred, or, you know, that, yes, go forward. But it kind of leaves it hanging. It's still kind of an either or
I
without
want to
that.
say the 18th, Joyce. When is that Casella meeting?
Is that it, Catherine?
That's the only one I have.
I'll make a motion to accept all the minutes.
As corrected by
As
Catherine
corrected by Catherine. Yes,
And others.
and others.
yes.
Monday the 12th.
At 2 o'clock.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. Yeah, it's very strange.
Okay, in addition to the agenda tonight, we have a non-public listed legal items. We're going to add to that personnel PD. Later on.
Hey, if it weren't on there, we ain't doing it. That's the rules. You made them up.
It's a complaint, so we take all
Oh,
complaints
my
seriously.
God,
so-
not a complaint.
It happens occasionally.
It does.
Okay, so
Buttons?
we have about, buttons. 15 minutes. Do you have the folder on, do I have it?
Hi, John.
Hey, John, let the record show that Selectman Scanlon is now present. Joyce, did you print out the article on the bike program?
No, I just forwarded it to the board.
Okay. Did everybody get that in the emails? Did you read about
I didn't open it, yeah.
that bike program that the
bike rack,
New Manchester.
50/50.
Yes, it's a grant for 50/50, and you can get bike racks now to encourage folks riding bikes to and from places. The racks right now are $200.
Where would we put it?
Oh, probably at the opening of the trails or something, I would
Actually,
say.
that sounds like a good
Or
idea.
riverfront or whatever.
Riverfront has 2 bike racks.
Okay. Well, I just look at the email and think about it, because it's an opportunity for us.
January 6th.
Was WRTA made aware of it? Because they may want to put them at places along the trail. I mean, it's really the only bike trail we have in town.
They're the ones that sent it to me.
Oh, that was nice. That was actually very thoughtful.
But I think I sent it to Parks and Conservation Commission.
What about over at 132?
That's an idea.
Go ahead.
The ball field.
If you read the article, and we'll bring it up, put it on the agenda next week, and we could talk about it.
Did you
Is there a
say,
deadline on it, Joyce?
I believe there is.
Or any places downtown.
we don't allow bicycle
On
riding
the, on the,
on the
that would
sidewalk,
encourage
so-
them on the sidewalk.
Possibly, if they're taking a bike trail and they want to be downtown, possibly somewhere where it cuts over, they could put a rack so that the people can now walk through the center of town without having...
Is there official trail down our main street? I thought it was across Cannon Bridge and then up through Northfield.
It's
It goes across right here, right?
across Cannon Bridge and Elm Street, and then over to Surratt's. Right?
Currently, yeah.
Yeah, they were going to have signage indicating that.
So they basically haven't bypassed Main Street.
Maybe they could put their bike somewhere and then walk through downtown.
Originally, though, it was Main Street, Park Street, correct?
They're going to go behind Main Street, right?
Wasn't it down
I
Main
don't
Street?
think it was ever down Main
Never
Street
down Main Street.
Okay.
because of the sidewalk issue.
Because we
Right.
don't have allowed.
So the program ends the 28th of February,
Yeah, but-
okay? And there's a link, and you have to put the application in. So the opportunity to purchase and have permanently installed bike rack on or near their properties at 50% of cost or just $200. So Manchester's on board with it, they're going to do it. So it's just, you're limited to 15.
For business property owners.
This would be to any nonprofit.
Looks like a pretty straightforward.
I don't think the seniors would pick it
I'm
up.
missing something here.
Why?
The story that I'm reading in that email says that Manchester has 15 bike racks. Doesn't say anything about there's only 15 bike racks available or
We're
in,
limited to.
or we're
Oh,
limited.
applicants are limited to one bike rack per location.
Again, that's a Manchester story about Manchester businesses. I
It's a
don't even
grant.
don't know where they got them. Here we go. Now, this is all about Manchester.
Yep, it's pretty straightforward.
But is it limited just to Manchester?
The bikes offered in this story are limited to Manchester. However, there is a blurb here that says, questions about the program can be sent to bike, now, MHT is Manchester, bike@bikemanchester.com. So I don't know where they got them. Perhaps we could get in touch with somebody at bikemanchester.com and find out where they got them and what have you.
Okay.
Well, it's funded by a grant from the Central New Hampshire Bicycling Coalition, so it would tell you to contact them, see if it's available to other
Well, there
municipalities.
you go. Maybe that's where we should start, is the Central New Hampshire Bicycling Coalition.
You just send them a text and ask them when we go by.
Did you notice that, Joyce? The Central New Hampshire Bicycling Coalition is the one that Manchester is actually working with to provide these bike racks to their local businesses, because what you sent was a link to the story about Manchester dispensing bike racks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say none of those bike racks are available to us. So we would have to go to the Central New Hampshire Bicycling Coalition to find out more details about becoming involved in their program to
Right.
set up our, okay.
Probably.
Okay. Are you from Empire? Okay. Anyone else coming with you?
No, just me.
Just you? Okay. Do you want this in a public hearing? Public on tape, public?
It doesn't matter however you like it.
It's up to you, sir, not me.
No, then.
No?
It really doesn't matter. Whatever's easier for you.
Well, we can do it in public, and that way I don't have to get up and turn off the camera.
The information...
That's easier for me.
In public, the information goes out to, it's
Public is fine.
it's on video, and it goes out to the...
Public is fine. I can
Okay.
hear 'em all set.
All right, so come on up. I'm Pat Constantino. This is Selectman Joe Jessamine, Selectman Al LaPlante, Selectman Catherine Dawson, and Selectman John Scanlon.
Nice to meet you.
And you're
Joe Motzkin.
Joe Motzkin. This is regarding your hauler's license, or lack of hauler's license, and non-payment, continuous non-payment issues with us, and we have asked a cease and desist on hauling in the town of Tilton,
Which we have done.
which you have done. And you're asking us to reinstate the license for you.
So we can continue to serve BJ's, yes.
What would be different? I mean, I don't understand what would be different than the past
Well,
practice of 2 or 3 years.
I mean, I apologize about the hauler's license. So I mean, I know you said you've spoken to someone else in my organization, but she never did inform me about it. The first that I did hear about it was a phone call from BJ's in November.
Well, I know that I've made several phone calls, and I know that our selectman's assistant has made several phone calls to you and to the woman that's in your office. So I know you directly have spoken to me on a couple of occasions.
No, not about a hauler's license, though.
You've spoken directly to Catherine Wozner on a hauler's license. I know that for a fact because I was standing next to her when she was on the phone.
Okay, I honestly do not recall. Okay.
Okay. So the problem is that you went, a year without being licensed, and then it's been fair to say on the safe side, to say a struggle to get you to pay what is owed to the town of Tilton on a regular basis. It's either demand notices or time spent on the phone to you, and you're continuously late, always late, even up until just a few months ago. You were thousands of dollars behind.
Okay, I mean, honestly, there was, I thought I did get this cleared up back in October, but I found out from your statement there was one invoice that I was missing, and I did send that one along with the most current one in December.
The only time that you have paid is when there's been a demand on you. And if there hasn't been a demand on you, when we call, you say, yes, I'll get that out, and it never comes out. And then when we call and say, listen, we're going to shut you down, that's when you start paying. And after a while, it gets old. And, everybody's treated the same in the town of Tilton. All the haulers pay just like you pay. And if we have to do that to other people, we would be in the same situation as you are right now.
Okay.
And they're not.
Well, I'll make sure that does not happen again. If you wanted to, going forward, I could send you, what's the average bill a month? Do you have that information? I don't.
Well, in January 14, it was $38.90, in February, it was $31. March, it was $1, so you must have paid. And then March, it was $2,300. So the total due at that time in April was $8,600. And you paid that in April. So you went January, February, March, April without paying.
But
I sent you a letter then.
I tell you what, if you wanted to get an average monthly amount, I'll make sure I'll pay that to you in advance, every month in advance.
To me, I'm not,
Well,
I'll put the other selectmen here, but I'm not inclined to give you a
I was
license.
just giving you an
because-
option.
Yeah, I think that, for me, I've run out of options, because I'm the one that was been on the phone with you, and I know how many times, how many hours we've spent billing you and chasing you down for monies and licenses and faxes that you say you don't get, and personally, I'm only one of 5, as you can see.
Okay.
But I'm not inclined to do anything as of right now.
Okay.
So let the others speak.
I would agree with you. I'm not going right now either.
The only way I would be in favor of it is on 30 days cash money, you pay what you owe. On the 31st day, we suspend your hauling privileges and we're done. Under that kind of a thing, I could probably, I don't want to step on your toes. I just want to collect the money that's due according to,
I understand. I mean, it's no defense, but in all honesty, BJ's does take longer than 30 days to pay me, but I'll make sure that I would pay you.
between you and BJ.
I understand, I understand.
But we've asked them and asked them and asked them for 30 days, probably, in the last year, probably 7 or 8 times.
I
It's gone
understand
over
that.
30
And like I
days.
say, on day 31, we suspend the privilege to haul, and we're done. He's come all the way up here to tell us that he's going to pay us the money.
And what I had even said was, if you came up with an average monthly amount, I would even pay it to you in advance.
I think that's
So-
an accountant thing, and I don't think we're going to be deciding on an accountant thing.
In
It's not.
In January, you owed January, February, March, there were 3 invoices in March, and April, a total of $8,616. And then we sent you a letter, and you said, hey, a demand letter. It's right here. You pay by 4/15 on such and such a day, or you'll be suspended. So you paid up. And then on August and September and October, it was $3,000. Again, we did a cease and desist, and then you have 11, and we did a cease and desist back in 11, but there's 2 other outstanding bills, again, for $1,656.90. So we've done 2 that I know of, and 4 phone calls on demands.
We've had bad history. I understand that, but we can go forward perhaps and make this right if you're willing to make it right.
Well, yeah, that was why it said, I mean, I'm not sure what the average number is, but say it's $1,500 a month, I give you a check tomorrow for $1,500, and then you send me the next bill, we'll just go with the difference there, and if it's more or less, and then I give you another $1,500 on top of that.
And I'm just,
That way you'd be ahead, actually, instead of ever being behind.
The problem is, in my mind, and it's just me, is as much as we've done with you, as much as we've had to chase you, it's, but I don't think it's worth chasing. I just don't think it's worth chasing.
it's always been our problem. It's never been your problem. Every time we've called, it's always been our problem. It's never been your problem. Now, when we totally shut you down as a Board of Selectmen and said, you know what, it's not our problem, it's your problem. Now you come to us and ask for a hearing to say, listen, I want to still haul in the town of Tilton, give me a break. It's,
Well, I can't give you any other option besides that.
What about the state's record, when you look up at your DOT license, and you can, is it the federal, Joyce, or the state?
It's the federal.
It's the federal, the DOT license, and you look at other haulers, and it gives you a list of percentages of safety violations, and everybody's down around between 6 and 10%. You're 68%.
I don't think it's that severe as compared to others, but I don't.
Do you have the
What are you
copy
talking
here?
about? Safety violations, 68%.
Safety violence with the federal, with the DOT
What does that mean
license.
exactly?
It should be in there, yeah, it's extreme, they said it's extremely high.
When we asked about the safety, of the does he have a DOT license? Is it real, and so on and so forth, this is the information that we were given.
So the answer is yes.
But you'll have to come-
We do have a DOT.
You do have a DOT license, however, you have 68% safety violations
Well,
against your
I could
company,
say-
and
Around 20.
and the average is around,
Well, I could say in 2000, I forget whether it was either 10 or 11, we had a complete DOT audit, which we had passed.
Joyce, it might be quicker for you to find it.
What's happening down at that end of the table? We're making a lot of noise down here.
Just waiting for things to die down a bit. In my opinion, you're coming to us now saying, okay, all of a sudden, I'm going to pay you in advance. But yet, we've sent you certifieds, we've made phone calls, and all of that costs the town extra money to chase down invoices. So now, all of a sudden, we're to believe you that you're going to pay us in advance, and maybe you will for this month, but we may be sitting here in February wondering how we're going to collect, or March, how we're going to be collecting in February.
Well,
Because we haven't gotten that advance. I
Well,
mean,
then you
my
would
point
just-
is,
well, like
you're
you-
asking us to take your word now, but it wasn't
Here's the rest of it.
doing so well in 2014.
Well, like your other representative had said, I mean, the first time that it didn't happen, then you would just cancel the license and there'd be no point of return. I mean, outside of that, there's nothing really else we could do.
Well, the problem is if we cancel your license because you're 31 days overdue, then we have to go into collections for it. And that will cost money for us to get you to pay whatever the balance is.
Well, you canceled me now and I had paid you up everything.
well, no, not really, because you still owe us.
No, I owe you nothing.
Joyce, has he paid the last two, November and,
Yes, everything has been paid that has been picked up and delivered to the incinerator.
so November and December, this bill on top
Yes,
is paid?
yes,
Okay.
this is last,
I don't think it was, I think it was actually October and December were the two that were missing. Because I didn't have October's bill.
When was this produced?
we've applied that payment to the one that was
Well,
the
the
longest.
sheet of paper that I'm looking at, it says total due 2,069.20. Is this inaccurate?
There's probably a more current document than this one.
Copy of the check.
Usually it tells you the date that it's been printed on it, but this one doesn't.
No, I know he paid because the only thing we returned to him
Oh, here's a copy of the check.
was the
right here.
license fee.
All right, so this should have been updated, and then we wouldn't have the conversation.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, I apologize, I do see a check here. But the sheet of paper doesn't say, it just says total owed.
No problem.
Okay. All right, so you're not in arrears, but go ahead, you can decipher that, Al, if you want. There's the violations. To me, it's...
Actually, I kind of like this because they're subject to more stops and interventions and inspections than the average carrier. So unless you're in compliance, you can't haul anything anyway.
Correct.
So there is as good, based on their past record, maybe they had a lapse, but going forward, they're going to get inspected more than anybody. The only thing that concerns me about this particular piece of paper, it says that you have no current for-hire operating authority.
I don't understand what that means.
I'm not sure what it means either, but it doesn't sound good, does it?
Let's see. There's no current for hire. What is the FMCSA?
I don't know. It's something about these people, I guess. I have no clue.
Yeah, in all honesty, I have no idea.
News to me.
So this is the federal regulations, and these are the violations. So you can see it's 61.8% when the national average is 20%.
This is 2014, December.
Do you think before you make any decisions, either way, if he wants to make, you should talk to Tim about the finance part of it, how that's going to affect him?
Well, I think us as a board should talk about it and
But I'm saying, I want to make it clear
Together
that
before we make a decision.
we should be talking to Tim about the finance part of this, to ask him if it's any trouble to him to be doing before.
in advance.
In advance. How much work is that going to be for him? I just want to know. I'm not going to make a decision unless he tells me it's going to be easy or not easy.
Well, if they have a credit representing 1/12 of the last year's payments every month by the 15th or whatever, balance due within 30 days. Again, at that time to get that 1/12 of last year's money. But in order to do that, we have to talk with our finance officer, find out what that number would be and what the process would be.
It's just an option. I just figured I'd throw it out there.
You're operating in Northfield under approximately the same situation, is that correct?
Actually, I'm really done in Northfield. Because, we give it up Frudenberg. But BJ's, we service 22 other BJ's in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and I don't lose one.
Yeah. So this is bigger for you than just Tilton?
Yeah, I mean, really, I just wanted to hang on to as many BJ's as possible.
Sure.
John, what do you think?
Well, I think we have to talk to Tim about having some kind of deposit so that if it did exceed so that we wouldn't have to go after collecting money.
Yeah, I don't want to go there at all. I don't care who we collect the money from, because BJ's is going to dump, the garbage is going down to the incinerator, we're going to get ours. Because we have to pay it. I mean, it's not like we're collecting giant money here, and this is a revenue for us, that we have to pay that money to the incinerator, you know?
There was a problem, too, at the incinerator. I think at a time, there was some other towns going under you that shouldn't have, because there was a problem in the computer at the incinerator.
We've tried to stay on top of that. And the co-op
Yeah.
tries real hard to stay on top of that.
Yeah,
I sit on that
I think
board as
that
well.
made some months' bills a lot higher than they should have been anyways, but. Because BJ's at most goes twice a month for this location.
I don't know what their average tonnage is or any of that, so I
Yeah,
can't address the
It's
actual
about
figure.
8 or 9 ton a pull.
But do we have any other questions for Mr. Motson?
No.
Okay, do you have any other questions for us?
No,
And we will get back to you with an answer,
okay.
all right? We'll meet privately at the end of this session, and then we'll speak to our finance manager,
Okay,
all right?
all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Try to make it sooner rather than later, just because the longer that I have lost the account, the less likely I am to get it back.
Oh, it'll be quick.
Okay.
Is Tim still in the building?
I'll call him.
If he's
Can't
gone,
answer the phone. He can't answer,
Oh.
Joe.
if he's gone, it's going to be another week.
Checks, BJ's, that's why they send checks late.
I didn't promise him to get right back.
Why can't he answer the phone?
His phone is broke.
He doesn't have one.
Phone is broke.
His cell phone is broke, but his extension isn't, is it?
You just go over to the extension and just push the button.
So whether I call him from here or over there, he could have picked up the phone.
Are you going to call the,
Not anymore, Al's halfway to calling him.
I'm going to non-public right now.
Sure, why are we calling him?
See if he's downstairs.
I mean, what input is he going to have?
It's not there.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public per RSA 91A:3.
Just take
That would adversely affect the reputation of others. That one. I think it's D.
Second.
At what?
Roll call vote.
5:17?
91.3.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Grant, and I would like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel permanently, as they pertain to legal matters until such time as those matters might be resolved, as they pertain to public safety issues permanently. Am I missing something here?
The first one was not personnel, but it was,
No, the first one's personnel,
okay,
public
yeah.
safety, legal.
okay, yeah.
Or that which in discussed was in public adversely affect the reputation.
Permanently.
Right.
Second.
All those
got all
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I have an observation.
Did you say the time?
6:23, 28.
6:28. Okay, I have an observation on the hauler's license. The solid waste hauler's application licensing rules and regulations. There's a section here that says that all acceptable solid waste generated within the town of Tilton goes to the Concord Resource Recovery Cooperative in Pennacook, New Hampshire. There is no solid waste cooperative in Pennacook, New Hampshire. That is the formerly known as the Wheelabrator incinerator, which is where it goes. It's owned now by somebody altogether different, and I'm not exactly sure of the name of that company, but that's where the garbage has to go, not to the co-op. And then you go down through, and it talks about co-op.
So we need to amend our ordinance. Is that what you're saying?
We need
The license form, the application.
the license form, and it says on number 2, this is the old form, Joyce, is it?
That's the one that's been around. The only thing I changed was,
Just reform.
What does our ordinance state?
Okay, it states in number 2 that all solid waste originating or collected within the municipal boundaries of the town may be delivered to and deposited for disposal at the co-op. Now, the co-op is wrong anyway, but if it's always said may, then that's in direct contradiction to our ordinance that say it will be.
Where's our ordinance?
Should be attached to what Joe's looking at. The first part of it is what the town ordinance that was adopted at the 1982 town meeting or whatever.
I don't see the ordinance per se.
And then there's the selectmen's regulations.
I don't see the ordinance.
This is our haulers ordinance?
That's correct.
It's not on the website.
This is license form.
There, okay. This is the town meeting ordinance.
May be delivered. It's always said may. They've always had the option.
Yeah.
But they don't have the option because we signed a contract that says it will be
So we need
delivered.
to amend these.
Well, this is town meeting.
So we need to
This
take
is
it to town
selectmen.
meeting and fix it this
So
year.
we'll put that on one of our warrant articles there.
This has always been wrong. Co-op, co-op, co-op,
Let's fix it.
co-op, $2 per ton. We've changed that.
Let's fix it.
It's significantly more than $2 a ton at this point.
Right, yeah.
So he'll have
And the
to
selectmen
fill
have
out a new
changed it.
application.
We changed the amount. Can we do
But
that?
is that an old application, or is there a newer one that reflects?
We haven't updated our
We haven't
application,
updated the
obviously.
application.
But you-
And this is-
why haven't we updated it to reflect the new tonnage, though? We changed the
Yeah,
tonnage.
and you have, because I think in here it says this, in the selectmen's rules, they say they can amend it.
We've changed the tonnage, so that application should reflect the change in the tonnage at least.
And
No,
we
no, no, no,
changed-
it's not the application, it's in the original town ordinance.
Okay,
Only
well,
town
we have
meeting
an
can change the
opportunity
town
coming up real soon to fix that ordinance.
So that
Let's
would be
get it
number
done.
one. Yep.
And we better-
That's my big
We better
concern.
take that application.
Tony's right.
Take
If
that.
you read this, Tony's right.
If that application isn't updated to what we currently have, it needs to be torn up, fixed, and he sent a new one.
ASAP.
And our agreement with the co-op says that our tonnage will be delivered to the,
Okay, so Catherine's going to replace it tomorrow morning, send them out a new one.
Okay.
And we'll get that squared away.
okay, do we need to?
Thank you for
And
pointing
then
that out.
the ordinance, the warrant article will simply say it's
We'll pick-
housekeeping, as per
right.
the contract, we
Yes,
need to change
yes.
the wording.
Right,
With the
Blah,
cooperative,
blah, blah.
because
We can-
they're in,
we don't, right,
they contradict each other.
right.
Yep, so
And
let's get
and
it
like I
done.
say, if Tony read that, then he's right.
Right.
But that doesn't reflect our relationship with the co-op.
Okay.
Okay.
So, moving right along, we have,
So we'll get the
Catch.
right information, and this signing here, it's still effective?
Really nice catch,
For the
Joe.
new,
Good catch.
for the new stuff?
Well,
we have,
you attachment, you mean.
Because Tony signed this with that
News report.
attachment,
is asking us
It was just in a
to
letter that I sent to him.
but he saw this ordinance thing.
make a motion to allow him to sell the old
That's what he
equipment.
thinks, so, I don't
So
know.
I will make a motion to allow him to sell the old,
What equipment?
this is approval to sell old equipment. He's been installing newer systems, these old computer stuff. He'll wipe the data from them, and that could be sold and then priced in such a way to move them, discount them as they are tired iron, and then offer them first to employees and elected officials and volunteers, and then to the general public. I think they may have, right now, he has 3 that qualified to be sold, and this will help lighten up the storage that he needs downstairs.
Throw it away.
Right, we don't have to pay to throw it away. So I make a motion that we allow him to sell the old equipment at his discretion as he replaces it with new.
Second.
In discussion,
Yes.
is he going to have time to delete all the stuff on this, at this point? Because he's right out straight.
It might
And
take
the-
time
Well,
before
maybe
he
we
has
can
the
ask Gary to-
opportunity, but
Yeah, I think as we get further away from the end of the year, he'll
Yeah.
have more
We'll have
time.
more time.
Right.
I know he's impacted right now, pretty
Yeah.
bad, so.
All right, so that, all those in favor?
yes.
Aye.
Aye.
So, the other one is there's, the MS-60 needs to be assigned.
Do we design that?
There's one signature place for it per DRA, so you need to make a motion
I'll make a
to
motion, we
allow
have
the
the chair
the
sign.
vice chair to sign it.
I make a
Okay.
motion, we have the chair sign it.
I haven't read it.
It's allowing Grizzlack
Hey,
to,
there's a motion
Yeah,
on the
so-
table.
Okay, but shouldn't we have a discussion about whether we want to do that or not?
Okay, well, the motion on the table.
Sure, I'll second the motion.
Thank
No,
you.
where's the
Discussion.
motion is to
Discussion.
sign it.
Now we're having,
The motion on the table is to sign it.
Correct.
The motion should be to discuss whether we're going to keep Grizzlack, I think.
Well, that can be part of the discussion.
if you make the motion to sign the MS-60, the MS-60 includes keeping Grizzlack on as auditors. That's contained in the MS-60.
I
Okay,
understand that.
there is one signature line on that.
Yep.
So
We could
you
all go
need to have
around
a
it if you want.
motion to allow the chairman to sign that for us.
Which I just did.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Or we have a
Yeah.
motion,
To talk about it first and then allow the chairman to sign it.
All right, I will amend my motion to that.
I get what you're saying, Captain. Thank you.
Second.
and I
Okay.
don't get to exercise my option not to sign it since it's not supposed to be signed.
Okay, so let's talk about whether we want Grizzlack and Company
Someone get her a towel,
to
please.
be our auditors.
Can use my sleeve.
How many years has Grizzlack done it?
Since
Many
Tim was finance,
And before.
Yeah, why be
Time to
teased?
change, get a different one, I think. My opinion is that you should have a different auditor at least occasionally, not always use the same auditor.
This guy's good.
Why?
Why? Because they might find something a little bit different or
That's good.
different opinions. I've always seen auditors change, banks change auditors.
different
I don't know, I don't have
perspective.
experience with auditors except for Tom.
Different, I actually
Nothing
like your
against
idea.
Grizzlack, but-
I like your idea, but it's kind of sort of like the assessor. We should have thought about that in July if we wanted to do that. So I think that going forward, why don't we think about that in July and put out a bid?
Why? Have we signed a contract with Grizzlack?
We will right after this vote,
No, that
No,
goes to
this
the
goes to
Department of
Department
Revenue.
of
That's just a
Revenue.
report.
but that's assuming that Grizzlack's going to be our auditor in the coming year, correct?
That's
Right.
correct.
Okay.
So if we don't sign this, we can send a letter to them notifying them that we are going out to bid and we're not certain. And these are just municipal reports to DRA letting them know what's going on.
This is per RSA 4131, any municipality that has not hired an auditor under RSA 21J19 shall, at the annual meeting, under an article in the warrant, choose one or more auditors.
So we'd
got
have to
until
do it
March.
at town meeting
Right.
if we were going to change.
This is for fiscal period January 1, 2015.
So you're plenty of time if you
December.
decide to go out with an RFP to change, if you so choose to change. Before,
No.
Yeah, because already with the audit, I mean, I haven't seen the documents yet. As soon as that's signed, we're going to get an email of a ton of stuff that we have to put together
For the audit.
2015. So you're just delaying getting your 2014 audit done.
Right.
we've been there before.
I mean, all auditors
Is
are
there
asked for the
any
same thing.
benefit to that?
Doesn't matter who you have, they're all going to ask for the exact same.
But what would be,
And also, when we have questions, we can just call them up. I've called up Steve and Jim and said, geez, you know, how do we treat this transaction?
But wouldn't any auditor that we hire be available to us that way?
Yeah, but we wouldn't have an auditor.
Wait a minute.
It only takes a few short weeks to go through a process of looking for somebody else, getting bids, interviewing, if we do it quickly, and hiring somebody,
I would like,
if we chose to go that way.
I would like to stay with Grizzlack for 2015.
And then do a formal.
That's
RFP.
not the deal. That's for 2014, if you read Tim's memo.
His letter, I think, is a typo.
It's for the 2014 audit.
Audit.
They'll represent us at the 2014 audit,
Right.
okay?
Right.
So
For fiscal year period,
the work's all done. If we get another auditor, they're going to have to come in and do it all over
No,
again.
no, they would be doing the 2015 audit. The new auditor would be auditing.
We already-
the year we're in now.
Okay, but what that says is that Grizzlack's our auditor for 2014, right?
Yeah.
Right, which he is.
Okay. It's got nothing to do with 2015. That's a separate
Okay.
issue.
Here is the Department of Revenue Administration document. It says fiscal period, January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015 This is letting the Department of Revenue know
Having not
our
seen
auditor for
form.
2015 is Grizzlack and Company. That's what this document is saying.
Okay, how about sending it down here? The only thing I've got is this thing that says we need to approve Grizzlack as the auditors for 2014.
And that's a typo.
Yeah,
Because we already have
Please
them for
don't
20.
lose that in the hole, will you?
That's happened. I've seen it.
I tried to read it to you, January 1st,
Ask for a
2015.
consensus of if we want to switch or not.
But our contract with Grizzlack would be to do the 2014 audit.
That's correct.
and the completion date's in 2015, March 30th, 2015.
Right,
Is it March or April, the completion date?
March 30th.
April 30th.
That's what I thought.
Something's wrong here. Because the one we're submitting now on April 30th, 2015 is not for the period from January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015.
Yep.
It should read 2014 in those spaces. That's the one we're submitting now, due on 4/30/2015.
Yeah.
It just seems like something's wrong.
Yeah, I agree. How can you submit the books for next year?
We're not.
You can't.
We're not. We're notifying Department of Revenue Administration who our auditor is for the
Okay.
year 2015.
Who we're using.
Grizzlock was hired as our auditor for the year 2014. They have until the end of April, isn't it, to do our audit? For 2014.
Right.
How many folks here, consensus, would like to stay on with Grizzlack for 2015?
Aye.
Aye.
I think I would as well.
That's consensus.
And I wanna really check and make sure
Okay.
that
Joyce can check
this form is correct.
We're going to,
It's different from what he's saying in the body of his letter, Joyce.
that's right, he has to submit it.
So I make a motion to go forward with Grizzlack for the year 2015.
And authorize the
Second.
chair to sign.
There's a motion on the table.
No, that was just a consensus,
No, I made a motion. He seconded the motion.
to sign it.
That's
Correct.
not right.
We didn't even get that motion off the table yet.
It's have
Information is
Pat
due
sign
by
it.
that date.
Right, so we need to take that motion.
That have to-
All in favor?
Right, something's wrong.
Then you can do your motion.
Yeah, so don't
Because
We
sign
have
it.
to accept him as
Joyce
a,
says she thinks something may be wrong too, and not to
Don't
sign
sign
it
it
yet.
they're,
Okay, do
we
you-
have a motion on the
So do you
table.
want to rescind your motion to sign it since we've discovered a mistake?
I believe that we have to check those dates.
Because we can also, we can come in and sign it
It's
no
due
matter
by
what.
the 10th.
You can come in and sign it at any time,
Due by the
if he
10th.
fixes it.
So just call the question, we vote no, and we move on.
No, we vote yes and move on. The question is to...
Just rescind the motion.
The motion was for you to sign it.
Okay.
So we say yes, and let Tim fix it, and let her sign it.
Call the question.
All those in favor of the chairman signing the MS-60,
The correct,
Corrected.
corrected MS-60?
yes.
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 What if this is okay and it's not corrected?
Then it needn't be corrected.
That's not what the motion said.
Oh, that woman.
The motion is to,
Because that
Yeah,
certainly
the
wasn't
chairman.
Al's motion. Because we
No,
had
it
that
wasn't.
discussion before he made the motion.
Are you a lawyer, Catherine?
would you like to repeat your motion?
Are you a lawyer?
She should be a lawyer, I can tell you that.
Hey,
She should have been a lawyer a long time ago.
technicalities.
My motion is to have the chair sign the correct version.
Of the MS-60.
There's already a motion.
Okay,
That's my correction.
thank you.
And then who seconded it?
Me. Anything.
No.
Now we call the question.
All those in favor?
Me, I think.
All right.
Catherine?
So,
I said I.
Okay.
If
we-
we could look into the next year,
Yeah.
look into having,
Yeah.
it's a good idea
Yeah.
to swap them out even if it's 1 year.
I'm all about that.
I think it's a great idea.
so I would make a motion that we continue with Grislac for the year 2015.
Second?
Didn't John just say that,
We did that, no, he said we would look into changing him for the following year.
oh, okay. Good enough.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye. So on or about
Catherine?
June, just in
No.
case I'm not here?
Catherine says no.
I'll put a reminder on my...
And who seconded that motion?
Al did. So on or about June, we'll look into RFPs for assessors and auditors now,
Yep.
if I'm here. Make a note, John.
If she's here.
You don't know.
I know.
I think you're going to find the form is correct.
I think so
That's
too,
okay.
Catherine. I
I
really
think
do.
it's asking two
I'm going
different
to stand
questions.
out there with
Yeah.
the sign. Vote
Who's
looks
our
like...
auditor for
Right in.
2015?
All right.
And who's going to complete our audit for 2014?
Al, do you have anything to bring before you have to leave?
Nope. Not
Okay,
tonight,
so
no.
it's Joyce. Joyce, you're up. Okay. No, Al may get up and leave because he has to go.
I have a funeral in the morning.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Means I gotta go to work and make up for
I don't know how one is going to make up for the other.
Oh, I think it's just for the board. We got a renewal for our food service license at the senior center. Class G license.
Okay, so just to go over some meeting dates with the board.
Uh-oh.
Let me get my book, my Bible here.
it. These past March?
No. Okay, the meeting with the Northfield Selectmen is Monday, January 19th at 5 o'clock in Northfield.
Okay.
And Catherine, I forwarded an email from Glenn that the two,
You have the day off.
yeah,
I'm down.
yeah, wanted some clarification on the asphalt mix. Both of the bidders,
Yeah, I sent an email to Glenn.
okay. Both of the people are going to be present, one at 5 and one at 6.
And he said he hadn't gotten hold of Donnie yet.
That I don't know. He just told me the two.
It does say that he hadn't reached out to Don yet.
But evidently the engineer that donated his time would be there. I assume that's who that is?
Yeah, no, that's
No, that's
Ed
someone else.
Weingartner.
Yeah.
Who is Ed Weingartner?
He's an engineer.
He's an engineer.
He's the one who donated his time. Okay, yes, he will attend the meeting.
Oh, good.
That's what it says.
Okay.
All right, next date.
Tilton School meeting is at 10:30 on January 15th.
I'll be there,
Old school.
And
10:30.
10:30 in the morning.
exactly where is this, Beth?
She's in
Sheehan.
the admin building.
The new building.
Okay. So walk in there, walk up to
new
the
building?
glass.
The old
and-
part of the new building.
So I'll walk up to the reception and say, I'm here to see Beth Shaheen.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, and now this is a new meeting that just got scheduled.
15th at 10:30 in the morning, that's, we're going to walk to school. Okay.
Fine with that.
Who's ever available next Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning
It's on the 14th?
on the 14th. Catherine, I checked with Catherine, and she said she's got a tight schedule that day, but you're going to...
8:30, what are we doing?
Okay. Last Monday, late afternoon, I got a phone call from Susan Susi in District 3, and she said, "Joyce, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." She goes, "I was at a meeting at DOT," and she said, every year on the plan, on their pavement plan, they want to finish Route 3 and 11 from the town line in Franklin and then come up to Cumberland Farms.
and that they were going to delay it a year, not they, but the powers that be, another year, because when you come through downtown, there's, in Main Street, there's a lot of issues, such as, number one, there are new, or they're enforcing regulations for ADA accessibility on sidewalks, tip downs, which they already have, and location of crosswalks.
We don't meet their qualifications?
Well, we can do a little walkthrough and see. She did mention one that I don't want to say on
They've never
camera.
liked our parking spaces or crosswalks.
Right. So that's an issue. The other thing is that when they put out their contract for bidding, they only pave the actual travel way. They don't pave parking spaces.
You're telling me there's going to be a dip down because they don't?
No, she said what they did in the...
Another unfunded mandate to the town that's going to pave the...
So these are the issues that, so what she was going to try and see, talk with the town, is if they can pull out Main Street. I mean, that she could go back and say, they really need to do the west end, of paving. So rather than delay that whole thing for another year while the Main Street thing gets worked out, and plus the town, if to do their portion, they have to have money to do your portion.
But they've done this regularly anyways when they've paid through there. The only difference is they've done right up to the sidewalks, because as soon as you get down by the bank, it all slopes down. So they stopped doing that area.
You know what's interesting is the fact I have the blueprints over there of Route 3, when it went from Daniel Webster, when it was created, Daniel Webster Highway, in the 40s, when they created it. I wonder what it would, if we pulled them out and looked at them and see what the boundaries of it is. As it
do
comes
that.
through
She
Main
said
Street.
She is bringing some documentation that she has, and that the last time it was done, which was sometime, I don't know when it was done, that the town did participate in paving redoing their sidewalks and paving the thing. I said, well, make sure you bring that. Also, Bill Lambert will be there, so you can find out what his ideas are for crosswalks.
What if we didn't pave it? And they didn't pave it, all of a sudden, they're at a liability for not paving their roads.
Well, that's another argument that you guys will have, I'm sure.
Got some work to do, homework.
Stop dumping their snow
And
out.
also,
You're in charge,
someone,
Catherine.
she said, also someone who is more familiar with all the ADA regulations. I said that would really be helpful if you had someone there, so, and we can walk.
And pay to have it removed.
That's a good point.
How can they tell us that, how many years has this been this way downtown? Maybe,
It goes back and forth. They didn't even claim, last time we did a walk, that the drains
Belong
under
to
Route
them.
311 belong to them.
And they do.
And they do, of course they do.
Yeah. So
but
this
but
will-
how can they tell us that, how can they even want to meet with us to tell us that there's a possibility of changing our ADA and crosswalks? How do they have a right to do that?
Because they allow you to have the crosswalks.
No,
They
they
can-
don't.
Well, of course they do, it's their road.
Crosswalks have been there for,
Oh.
they're prescriptive, they've been there for generations.
And then also, School
there's
Street
anything
is, they're
prescriptive with the-
planning
with the
School
state.
Street for
But they can't
repaving.
make you change a sidewalk when it's there. That's another unfunded mandate.
No, I'm talking about the
You can't have-
crosswalks.
I'm talking about the sidewalk and having a cut-through for ADA.
Well, we got some homework.
Well,
We gotta
anyway,
do some studying.
this is not a selectmen's meeting. This is just a meeting where we can listen to what they're thinking, what their plans are, and then ideally, if we could say, go ahead and get your paving contracts out, do from the town line, stop at the Park Street, and then,
What
and they
time?
they definitely want to do
Where are
the
you
Cumberland
meeting, though?
Farm. Oh, here.
In Town Hall. We're going to look at the plans first and then go out and walk?
We'll look at her
Yeah,
documentation.
look at her documentation. And also, they want to
And
redo the,
Catherine's documentation.
We already did the impact thing on the railroad tracks, so rebuilding that up by Cumbies.
yes, and they want to do that.
So basically, this is a plan for them to figure out how to spend the town's money.
No, this would be, if she hadn't
just
called
don't
me, we
wanna
would
spend the
never
money on
know
Main
that
Street.
they're planning on doing Route 3 and 11.
And they did just put a strip down Main Street.
So
and the
now they're
rest is on
saying-
us.
You know,
According to
rather
them.
than delay that another year until these other things get worked
They're
out.
paying to remove the old signage and the antique things from the train
Right.
crossings.
Right.
They're paying for all that.
To be
And to
moved.
put in a brand-new one and new styles, but they won't
That won't pave the side
they
of the
own the
road.
railroad.
pay all the way up to the curb.
Right.
Which is
They're
going to
only
cost
going
them
to pave a
extra.
strip.
Well, these are good
But
questions.
if you asked,
Tell them to cut it with the saw.
if Mr. Clements was still there, and he's not, he
My
would
pal.
say, "It comes from a different pocket."
Well,
I think
Jim
John had a
Clements?
good
The
point.
The other,
They shouldn't
the
be
railroad
plowing
guy
their
that you're
snow
mad
into
about?
our parking spaces unless they plan on removing it. If that's our road,
we should bill them for it.
then we should be billing them for removing their snow from our road
They're in-
section.
And you can't
Tax.
Second.
okay, so, Wednesday, 8:30.
Wednesday at 8:30, okay.
AM.
Yeah,
And there's a thing at the senior center at 11, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, open house.
11, to meet the new director.
I've met the new director a bunch of times.
okay,
What
also,
day is that? 15th?
14th.
14th, it's a Wednesday.
15th is the Tilton School.
I miss all the fun
so-
stuff.
Yes, but the open house at Senior Center is the 14th.
It's the 14th,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I put the budget public hearing notices, those will be coming out in the Winnisquam Echo. The practice has been just to run the one ad for both meeting dates.
I have 5 PM Selectmen's meeting on the 14th.
Bless you.
On the
Was that-
14th?
Was that just
We have a selectmen's meeting on the 14th?
I have it written in here,
No, that was if,
if that
You
was,
probably have.
for Cannon Bridge.
Northfield, the
Pardon me.
commissioners down there. It's-
so that must have been the Northfield if, maybe. Okay, I'll wait. I'm erasing it.
District 3, that meeting's 8:30 on the 14th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, and then we're having a public hearing on January 22nd for CDBG, and it's going to be 4 different things. One is Gaslight Village is going to go forward with applying for an implementation grant. And then we have to readopt the housing and anti-displacement plan. And then according to the regulations, they also have to do a public hearing on the results of their original feasibility study, and also the feasibility study that they're working on Windy Hill.
Okay.
So we need to allow a little bit of time
Excuse
for
me?
that.
We're having a public hearing for something going on Liberty Hill in Guilford?
Windy Hill,
Oh,
Windy Hill.
I thought you said Liberty Hill. I was going to say,
That's what I thought she said, too, Liberty Hill.
The black hole is spreading.
I see that.
that's where they're doing the
Everyone's
tar.
concurrent with the
oil.
selectmen meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah, at least 6 o'clock we open the public hearing.
okay.
That's it for dates?
Yep.
All right. Why do I have Adele written on February 9th and
Fire.
It was supposed to be January 9th. That was the
January
mediation.
9th.
That was
Ja- Yeah, mediation. Remember,
that's not there?
that's not there. The other thing, these are things that have just been kind of sitting on my desk for a while. We have to sign a septage agreement to take our septage to the Winnipesaukee River Basin project. And what I'd like to do is scan this and have the board look at it, and also have Tim look at it. I'll pull all the old ones that we've had in the past, and we'll do it for another week. He's called and he wants this, and I just haven't done it yet.
Wait a minute. This is because we have to provide a place for our residents to put
Yes.
their
Septage.
septage, whether it's mobile home, whatever. This is not sewer, Winnipesaukee River Basin stuff. This is,
It is Winnipesaukee River Basin stuff.
Septic.
It's a treatment plant.
no, I know that's where we're going
Oh.
to have them put their
Yeah, it's a septic
sewage,
agreement.
but this has nothing to do with the sewer commissioners and sewer lines, right?
This is for
No.
personally
This is
delivered?
because, okay.
Yeah, this
Personally
expired,
delivered?
it expired December 31st.
Could get messy.
It could get messy.
Lack of a better word.
Yeah,
That black hole is filling up over there.
I know you're right.
someone else that found out today. The postage guy came in. He said, oh, there's a new rule now that anything over 13 ounces, you have to put this tracking sticker on it.
13 ounces of what?
Mail,
Really?
yeah. And I said, oh, do we have to pay for that? And he said, oh, no, you buy it from the post office, but if you want, you
Buy it from the
We're
post
back-
office, you have
we're
to
back to
buy.
the
I mean, you don't buy it, you
Frankfurt
get it,
Oh.
but you could get where the thing will automatically print. So I just poked around on the US Postal site, and the US Postal site said, commercial. I'm thinking, well, does that mean flat? I mean, we don't do boxes, but we do flats. We do a lot of big envelope things. So I'm a little unclear on that. But anyway, so I introduced him to Tim, because he said, oh, by the way, your meter contract is up December 31st. So Tim and him are going to talk and see about maybe changing the meter we have. So they're going to wheel and deal.
The guy kept saying.
I think they
"Ooh,
liked
that pizza
each other."
smells good. Oh, that pizza smells good.
Yeah, what?
He's the one that kept saying that.
Oh.
And it was Chinese food.
No, it's pizza.
Oh, no, yeah, because I remember,
I bought
yeah, he
pizza
goes,
the
oh,
other
I'm
day
so sorry to be interrupting your lunch with your pizza. That smells good. I'm like, while
That was
he's
nice. Why
talking
didn't
to
you
me.
call me?
You live in Manchester.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, and then this is for anybody watching the meeting, is that we're pleased to announce that Governor and Council approved the state aid highway application for Caleb Hill Road.
2080?
There's no, this is just an
I
announcement.
think you should find out whether it's 2080 or not. Because if the council approved it, they're the ones that approve it at a certain rate.
Okay.
We need to make sure that it's, because we're not buying it if it's,
Well, he says the next step is
One-third,
to send the town an agreement to review and sign.
well, that
And
would
he-
be in the agreement.
And he'll be working on this in January, and we'll send it our way.
Because they promised us 2080.
Yes.
Well, Chris Clemens promised us 2080.
If the governor and council.
The state has lied to me before.
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
As hard as it is to believe. Rotten, no good.
This is a letter,
They're all lawyers.
and I held on to this because I wanted to do some research, but I didn't have time. But if you want to read it, it has to do with fireworks.
Really?
Yeah.
Selectmen, the town of Tilton, I am writing to have the board add local ordinance regulating the times and places for the use of fireworks per RSA, NH RSA 160-C. Also, to enforce existing regulations regarding use of consumer versus display fireworks requiring a permit and license for for the latter. Enclosures, please advise. Thank you. Calvin Brown, 62 Mountain View Drive. Well, Mr. Calvin, I agree with you. I love fireworks, but I think we should do something, because when they land on my vehicle going down Prospect Street and Chestnut Street, there's a problem.
I live on Silver Lake Road, and that's the
However,
the
July
kingdom
4th,
of...
if you go to a certain
Yeah.
residential house that has it all done up very nicely, it's nice. And it's
Hey,
regulated.
July 4th at Silver Lake, I advise you all to come on down.
All summer.
Well, especially July 4th, they're as big as anywhere.
2 years ago, I drove High Street to take a right onto Prospect, and the sparks, they were shooting them off on the corner of High Street and Prospect, and they were landing on our cars. And then I drove around to Chestnut Street, and that same place where I got them on my vehicle on Chestnut Street from Prospect.
Did you stop?
Of course I did.
Did you hit anybody?
You didn't say anything, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I
I didn't.
that's
Did I,
a lot.
Chief?
I
didn't say
would've.
a word, did I?
I would.
Nope. I just called, Chief, please do something. Anyway, the legal requirements for New Hampshire are consumer fireworks are legal under federal law for consumer use. Therefore, we can legally ship all consumer fireworks anywhere in the United States. It is your responsibility to get proper local approval. So, then they
What
have
side do we live in?
highlighted here,
Confusion.
briefing of fireworks laws and ordinance, they highlighted the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission forbids the sale of particularly explosive fireworks, including M80s, cherry bombs, large shells, aerial bombs, and firecrackers with more than 50 milligrams of powder, which is about 1/16 the weight of an aspirin tablet. They highlighted that. And they highlighted what fireworks are illegal in New Hampshire. Any type of firecracker, bottle rocket, missile, skyrocket, handheld fountains, and any device that produces solely smoke.
Now, if that being the case, and we're selling them around this
Anybody else want to
area,
read it?
they've been inspected by the fire marshals, and they're gonna see what they're selling, and they're not gonna let them do it. So I'm not understanding the,
I think it's worth looking into.
yeah.
What do you think, Chief?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a ride down there with Al.
Don't-
Take that with us, and we'll talk to him.
Yeah, let's not be messing with the fireworks people.
I love fireworks, but I think in a controlled
Environment.
environment,
Yes.
I think
I
that
agree.
they need to be not just,
But what's a controlled environment? Licensed and inspected
No,
and...
not 2 feet from another house.
right.
Well,
I mean-
Certain footage from a house is really, I think that's important. When you're
Shoot them in their main
walking down the
cars.
street and they're landing on you, I don't think that that's,
Well, if somebody hits me with a firework, they gotta be ready for what follows. I mean, it's a weapon as
I'd
far
like
as
to
I'm
know what the
concerned.
laws are already, Chief. If I light fireworks off at my house and I send them up, and, I mean, some of them go up a long ways, they could conceivably land on homes down an Ashlot Drive. What's the law? I didn't intentionally send them over there.
It wouldn't be a fireworks law, it would be reckless conduct or
Littering?
disorderly actions, or it would be something other than a fireworks law.
but would it be a fire law too if it,
But if I send it up in the air, it explodes and all that interesting stuff comes down, and then some of it happens to land on somebody's lawn down below me. Am I littering?
So I'm
I didn't
having,
do it intentionally.
so I'm having a brush fire.
The wind blew it over there.
So I'm having a brush fire.
What law am I
And the stuff
breaking?
blows over to my neighbor's yard.
let me know.
Hey,
And I know
Can we
that
put this
Looking
in
too
the
much
to be
into it?
signed?
Yeah, and I understand Pat's concern, but I'm impacted by fireworks more than anybody. Well, I can't say that. Catherine and
People need a
and,
permit.
Al are
No, you
inundated.
don't.
Recreation, no permit.
It
You don't need a
depends on the
permit.
class of fireworks.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but people go to North and South Carolina and buy mortars, and I personally have bought
In
mortars.
Tennessee, you get Class A.
Yeah, you can there too, and I've bought them.
Not in North Carolina, you can't buy Class A.
Well,
Aren't they
whatever you...
required to
It'd be up
have
their
certain
choice.
weather
The
conditions
to be
or?
signed phone book.
Really?
I know.
Up under the payroll, up under his
if they sell them, you can use them.
I-
to be
I saw them,
signed,
you can
John,
use
to
them.
be
That's
signed
law.
folder.
That's the law.
Oh.
Slippery or die. Some people say die.
And I kind of like believe in that live free or die thing.
So do I.
And if you do something stupid, you have to accept the responsibility for it.
But, you know, in the instant that I explained to you.
That, they
okay,
did something
The
stupid.
police couldn't,
Yeah, that would,
when the police went out, and obviously it was very reckless and it was very stupid, they really didn't have anything to go by other than going on their mercy and say, hey, guys, stop
is there
it.
any sense in signing this?
Because there wasn't anything to prevent them to do it.
'Cause it's
So there
very-
wasn't any ordinance that said you can't go within, 10
No, you
feet
go
of
ahead and
somebody
sign
else's
this,
house.
what we're going to change is the attachment.
Maybe we need to
You know,
explore that. I would be in
it's
favor of
stupid.
that.
That's the side of the fireworks that I'm talking about. I love fireworks. I love to watch them. I enjoy them. But when you come to a place like that, and they're, within 20 feet of someone else's house, that the police could not go up and say to them, except, hey, could you stop it, because they're landing on cars? Because they didn't have anything to go on, and it's permitted in the town. Am I right, Chief?
Even if
'Cause that
they're
was the
landing
answer
on
I got
cars.
from,
Yeah, that's true.
Even if they're landing on cars.
right.
Well, then it becomes, it could be basically criminal mischief, damage.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
But they weren't willing to charge the people because it was July 4th, and there was nothing to put any kind of teeth into it, because there was nothing other than fireworks.
Who lit it, right?
Right. And the officers that responded, including the supervisors, came up and explained it to me, which was, I was perfectly okay with. However, I have always said, right from the beginning, that there should be some type of regulation, particularly in the village, where the houses are so close to each other,
Yeah.
you don't have that freedom. Like Catherine's house, you have the freedom to do that. Silver Lake, they have the freedom to do that. You know, Chuck's, they have the freedom to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Research it?
Yeah, I would really like, whether we do anything or not, I'd still like to research it and see whether it's feasible to do it.
And I'll go with Al to talk to the
Yeah.
dealer and get some information.
Get some information on it. That'd be great. Okay.
All right, before I talk about the warrant, I don't know if I sent this to the board or not, but the New Hampshire Bureau of Education and Training, she sent another little flyer about some courses that they're going to have in February. And I didn't know if this one sounds good to me. Let's talk, how to communicate effectively in the midst of tension.
Yeah, I like that one. When is that?
February 6th.
February, that's not
But I didn't know if you wanted Arthur, because he completed everything that was available in January. And also, when
Where
did you
is it?
want to meet with him? These are all down in Concord.
Yeah, I'd like to go to that one. February 6th?
Yeah.
It's a Friday.
I think you should. And I think Arthur should too, because I think Arthur should too.
Yeah.
This one, right here.
It's a daytime.
Oh, it costs
think
us
so,
money,
yeah.
though. Are you going to pay for me
Yeah, I
to
know,
go?
yeah, but we budget money for training. Training, I don't,
It's $75 for me to go, Joe. You really want me to go?
yeah,
I'll
because you,
pay it myself.
no, because then you can come back and you can share what you've learned.
That's right. You could have a little mini class for me and Catherine.
Bring the gavel.
But there's one on business
It's not a
writing
bad
and,
thing. I'm thinking of my altercation I had at one time, and I did lose it.
Yeah, I'd like to be signed up.
At
I
a
walked
certain,
away and abandoned now.
But
at a
it's
certain
9 to 4.
point, all bets are off.
it's good every now and then just to, go to something,
Yeah.
just
I
to
like
get
that.
out and,
I'd go.
But
Anybody else?
I wasn't thinking of you. When I found
I
that.
was thinking of me.
Oh, well,
I
I
admit it.
thought of me.
I
Now,
get
When do
I
we have
really
to
get
respond to
passionate.
it by? What day of the week is it?
Well, it's good
It's a
to
Friday.
respond, because if they don't get
time?
enough people, then they're not
It's,
going to do it.
9 to 4.
So,
You need to respond to,
yeah, I would just send her an email and
oh,
give
here's
her
a
the name.
conflict resolution one. Yeah, that's on
Where is it at?
Concord.
Local government, or?
No, this is the state.
Here's a Myers-Briggs type indicator, understanding personalities.
I took that in college. Sent me an email and said I should go to that one. I'm like, what?
Oh, Microsoft Excel, I'd love that class. Oh, I would really love that class. That's a good one for Arthur. That's an excellent one for Arthur.
Acela?
Microsoft Excel.
Excel? Yeah, you should definitely take Excel.
That would be an excellent one for
Is it
him.
a starter? The beginner one?
Yeah, overview.
Basic level 1.
Yeah.
Joyce, February 2nd,
Okay.
basic level 1.
Write down.
Arthur?
Good God.
So Catherine, you haven't signed anything in here yet.
I haven't seen it.
There you go.
And I'm going to put a question mark for Catherine. She's going to let you know on this one. Communication skills in the workplace. Business writing.
On this letter
Customer
here,
service
I'll make
skills.
sure I do one that says Park Cemetery on it.
Oh,
I was just thinking of who I had email addresses to, so, but I made a note for that one. All right, let me just make sure I have this. February 6th, okay, Arthur for February 2nd, February 6th, Arthur, Pat, Catherine, question mark.
I don't remember, was the Pines on that list as well?
What's the what?
Pines.
Yeah, they're on it. Yeah,
On what?
the letter to
List of
everybody
agencies that we put in the
for the town report.
We on it?
We only do
Means
the
I gotta write a
ones
letter.
that,
Yeah, the email that I have, that as soon as I scan this signed letter, it's all the boards, commissions, everybody all in one email. But I have to add Park Cemetery because I don't have
like
anybody's
Pines is
email for them. I have to
borderline.
mail it, so.
but we pay almost 50% of their
Okay,
budget.
so we're set with that. Okay, while we're doing that, here's the letter thanking Tom Gallant for his service to the town.
Oh, we'll stop that down there.
And also, I have all the application forms and the information that I need to distribute to employees. I had wanted to do this earlier because I allowed myself the month of January because the new life accident, short-term and long-term disability policies go into effect February 1, and it's already going to be January 9th tomorrow. So I'm going to have to put my head down and get this distributed, and I'll go to the PD and to Highway, and when I hand them out, and just answer any questions that they have.
There's no changes in it, right?
No.
Okay.
The two good changes are that people become eligible the first of the month following their date of hire. They don't have to wait a month, a full month before they can go on. And secondly, that they will remit the benefit check to the town so that the town can continue paying the employee at the reduced amount. Or if the employee wants to use some of their paid time off.
That's for the...
As long as they don't go over 100% of what their wage is. This way, we don't have to chase after people to get caught up on their,
Health insurance.
Some people did lose paid time off, by the way. There are 3 or 4 that lost paid
I think
time
he
off.
has it in there, doesn't he? He listed who did?
I don't think that's payroll.
No, that's not.
Payroll
Oh.
was already signed last night. I think there was 4 that actually lost it. I just suffice to say that there was.
Okay. The Trails Association asked me just to present to the board, just so that you can see how our little piece of Tilton Trail is part of a bigger plan for the area.
Oh, it is, okay, I was wondering if it was planning to connect.
So every community is trying to do their,
This is not connected. What's connected is red.
I believe
What's
so.
done is red.
Yeah.
They are planning to connect to Laconia.
That's really neat.
Isn't there one coming down from the north?
Yes. There is one now. From, I've done it, the one from
Lebanon, doesn't it?
Enfield, or can you get in Canaan? I think Enfield, and you can go all the way to Lebanon. Goes around the lake. And then there's a group in Andover, they've completed a portion. And then Belmont's working on their portion. So eventually. Okay, I saw on the agenda that you want to start talking about ordinances, which you're going to do under yours. So I just put together
On the warrants, right?
on the
Town
warrant.
warrants.
This is draft number 1, and all I did is I put things that I'm aware of, which is we were going to talk about the elderly exemptions, and I've started to put together some information, which I believe I did email you. The first set was the most recent years, 2013. This is from DRA, and they list each community, what they have for veterans, blind, disabled, whatever, but I just did exemptions. And what I highlighted was Belknap County. It's all alphabetical, and other communities that surround us or have a similar mix of housing stock and commercial property, just to get an idea. And so Tilton, we're in the upper range. We're on page 5. So This is a start, and I also have information from Social Security on what the increases have been, and this is so sad. I mean, in January of 2009, it was 5.8% cost of living. January 2010, nothing. January 2011, nothing. January 2012, 3.6. January 2013, 1.7. January 2014, 1.5. And who knows what it's going to be.
Right, because the Republicans put in a bill to cut, oh no, that's SSI, cut SSI by 20%.
So I haven't done any analysis yet, but I've printed out the documents I need to do that, but this is a start, just to give you an idea where Tilton stands. So there was that, and then there's the request from the American Civil Liberties Union to rescind the sex offender residency ordinance.
Yeah.
And then I did find another, remember we received a letter from the selectman in Warner?
Yeah.
They had asked us last year, and he had asked again to put something on. I don't have it. I thought I had it, but,
Right, was that the one we asked for more information?
Right.
yes. What
We
of
asked
you were
him.
going to call? Wasn't somebody going to call him?
No, we were going to ask him for some more information to explain it to us.
Okay.
Because it was just one selectman asking, it wasn't,
Right. And then I just listed verbatim the warrant articles from 2014 on what we put into the capital reserve funds and what have you. And now we talked a little bit about the solid waste haulers ordinance.
are we doing anything now, it's not an ordinance, right? It's not about the ordinance, but are we, I know we had this conversation about a month ago on the island and what we are getting reimbursed from Northfield, and we weren't accurately giving them an account of what maintenance was. Are we doing that? Are there's provisions to do that? So that they can, I mean,
Put
it's
in their
budget
budget?
season, so they can
It
put
was
it
the
in their budget.
electrical.
We did in the past. We could do it again. I'm just remembering that the Budget Committee, I know definitely last year, I check and see the year before, they put nothing in for reimbursing for maintenance.
What about the electrical bill?
They didn't budget any money for paying any bills for the island.
So perhaps the Board of Selectmen here should send them, the selectmen over there, a formal letter saying, you know, this is what the electrical bill is a year.
Right.
This is 50%.
Right, well,
This
it's
is the
really,
maintenance.
it's the Budget Committee that
But we
is,
need to send it to both. We
Right.
should send it to the selectmen and the budget committee.
because members of the Budget Committee and members of the Selectmen, I don't know if it's a majority on the Selectmen, I know one is very vocal, is to research, and they may even have a warrant article this year, who knows, to see about giving the island to Tilton.
That would
They
be a good thing.
can't.
They can,
No, they have to
If
have
they get-
permission
yeah,
of the heirs.
Permission from the heirs.
right.
And my understanding was the heirs weren't going for that.
No, there's another
Well, one heir.
avenue, though.
But if the alternative is to take it back when you've got a town that wants to take it, but to me, it's just like, why would a town give up land in their town to another town? I just don't get
I
it.
agree with you.
They don't want to maintain it.
They-
But I think Tilton should be willing to do that,
Okay.
I would.
you know. I think if they
Yeah.
don't, it's sad, but if they don't, I think Tilton should be willing to do that. And I think that, you know, if
But
they're-
they should
if they're-
initiate that, because
correct.
they're the ones that want to
Right, that's
do it.
correct.
Let
If
them
that's what they
spend the
wanna
legal
do.
fees.
If they want to
All right,
initiate
can I tell
that,
them, can I tell them that?
Well,
if they want to initiate
They're
that.
so hot to go on, taking to town meeting to,
my problem is I don't want what they do to affect the ownership of the island, because if I read the deed, I haven't read it for a while, it's basically if either town, you know, turns it down, so if Northfield decides they don't want it, I don't want it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it goes back to the heirs.
It goes back to the heirs,
That's
whether
right.
we
Town
want
doesn't
it or
want-
not.
That's correct.
No, if you talk with,
Well, I know Joy Tilton
Remember,
wants
it
the
was
two
free.
towns to keep it.
right, and if you talk with Scott, there's a legal term
But that's
that
not.
allows you to
It's
do
not what's
that.
in the deed. I haven't talked to Scott, but if you read the deed basically says, if the town of Tilton decides they don't want it,
And we both lose it,
then we both lose it.
right. Because that was the whole point, according to
then who
Joy,
gets it?
That's
was
right.
the two towns.
back.
The heirs,
And then-
Tilton heirs.
And then they get ownership, and then they may decide that they want to
Keep it.
donate it.
But it's
keep it.
it's my understanding, though, that there's
They
a,
probably get rid of it.
that there's a way around that. Not around that, but there's a way to work with that.
Right.
I'm also thinking that
But have them pay for that.
a few vocal people being in favor of giving up the island is not necessarily the majority of the townspeople of Northfield.
That's correct.
Exactly, it would have to go to a town
I
meeting.
think
I don't
they
think
would
the Conservation
play
Commission over there
hell
wants rid of it.
trying to give up oh yeah, we should just give up the island. Well, if we give up the island, it goes back to, it's no longer a public park. Say what?
Right.
Be sure you go to town meeting and bring that up before the vote, Joyce.
What, we make it Tilton
Their town
residents
meeting is
only?
the same day as ours.
I don't believe any federal money has gone into that.
Not yet.
I would.
We lost out on
I would never
FEMA.
be a proponent of making it Tilton-only residents to use it.
No.
Belmont's
People-
Beach is like
Public is
that.
public.
People come from all the way
Oh, I know.
from Meredith for Sunday night concerts. I mean.
What, we're going to
Wolfboro.
check IDs at the bridge? No.
Well, and that's what Northfield is banking on.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
banking on not having to pay anything to maintain it, but still their people get to use it. Nothing will change for them, except they'll save money,
Right.
and it'll cost us.
Right, and that's kind of where we've been. It's like we've had this nice working relationship. When something bad happens, they do participate, but there's no incentive for them to pay anything, to budget any money.
Hence the wall. We put money aside, and
Right. and they
But it's
didn't, right.
physically located in their municipal boundaries.
Right.
And wouldn't Charles
own
Charles
land
E.
in the town of
Tilton love
Northfield.
that? Because that was his whole point, was to have the two towns become one.
I know, but that was a crazy dream. You should have come up with that before it became Northfield, when it was still the northern fields of Canterbury.
Yeah.
Was that the name?
No, they were just, that was Canterbury across the river, and this was Samberton.
Okay.
But 1760, I think, is when Northfield broke off from Canterbury. And you guys did in 1879?
See that
You're just little
Northfield rebels.
babes.
79,
You're just
yeah.
little
They're older
kids.
than we are.
So can you think, and then you're going to bring this up, so can
Yeah.
you think of anything else that we need to do for research or?
Are we going to have anything in here to get rid of the sex offender ordinance that nobody likes and is
Yeah.
threatening to sue us?
That's number 3.
Oh, I see it. I was reading the following articles for 2014. I just thought the top was the officers. I see. That threw me off. I didn't read far enough up. Thank
Okay,
you.
and then I've got to find that thing from the guy from Warner and talk with him. So if he wants to come in, he can come in? Pat?
There'll have to be a warrant article on here if the selectmen want to go forward with the
Well,
housing
I
standards.
thought that the selectmen wanted to hear what he had to say. I would ask him in an explanation in an email first, and then if he really would prefer to come in to, but not next week. Next week, we have PD coming. There's only one, we can only have one presenter coming, because then it delays it till 8:30.
Yeah, who's coming next week?
The PD,
For,
Celebrate, they did in fact get the grant. And
celebrate.
the phone program, the software, that they can copy the phone.
Okay.
Right?
Nate wants to come in and do a presentation.
Right. Nate wants to come in and do a presentation. He asked for this week,
He better stand back.
but,
I got my
oh, did
Everbright
you see on their
login.
Facebook page for the canine support?
I don't have Facebook.
Oh, you should.
Just for that.
Yeah.
There's been quite an
I
up,
refuse. I think Facebook is,
well, there's been quite an upwelling of public support for a canine unit within the town of Tilton by the various residents.
Well, then let them chalk some money up for it.
They've offered.
Maybe that should be a warrant
If
article.
they can support it by public donations, fine.
Oh, speaking of public donations,
I have a couple questions about the check register.
Yes, selectmen have copy of check for SOU to accept.
yep,
And that's one of my questions.
okay.
But my first one is, who's specialized loan servicing? No, that's in here.
Who is specialized loan servicing?
Yeah,
Let me see it.
I can't figure it out. Trying to figure out why we're sending them money
What,
as it pertains to
what Joyce's used,
taxes and penalties.
it looks like a void check.
The first one is, and then
Oh, okay.
underneath it is a,
While Joyce is looking at that, I'm going to make a motion to accept a
can we
2,600.
have a conversation about it first? Okay. Sorry, because that was one of my questions.
Oh, yes, remember when I did the disposition of abatement forms?
Yes,
Because that's something that, the way it was explained to me, that we caused the assessment to change, and that's why I had to do them. Whereas these are where a mortgage company
Caused
has
these.
overpaid.
Okay.
So this specialized loan servicing is a mortgage company that
that
pays-
we're reimbursing for overpayment.
Because they
Okay.
overpaid, because they escrow people's money. and if
Oh,
it
yeah, no,
comes-
no, I guessed that, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, I wanted
Yeah,
to be
so
sure.
that, these are all the ones that Cindy did.
So,
Okay,
Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit is $3,000 a year. The donation we got from the school is $2,600,
Right.
right?
Yeah, he said that's what they budgeted this year. So he said, I talked to Peter about it, and he said, next year he could do more. That's what he budgeted. So,
So what did they pay last year?
2,600.
Is that what they've been paying all along?
Yeah,
And how long has it been $3,000 a year?
I think it just went up last year. So this probably.
And what is this for?
the SOU.
Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit.
Yeah, they had to replace all their vests. I was at a meeting when they.
Oh, I can understand why they, in the economy, why they go up, but what I was surprised is that we're $400 short. Excuse me, because the last time, I remember there was a conversation, I said I remembered, that's an anomaly. There was a conversation with the selectmen about Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit. It was to support it with the agreement that the prep school was paying for the dues, but they're not. They're still $400 short.
Right, this year, I'd have to take that out of my dues.
Did you put it in your dues, the new budget,
I did, it's in there.
knowing that that's what needs to be there?
But is it in the 2015 or was it in the 2014?
In the 15.
Okay, but that hasn't been approved yet, so that's above and beyond normal. So I guess we have to decide, selectmen, if we're going to support the Central New Hampshire Special Operations Unit with taxpayers' dollars. I'm only bringing it up, it was a big issue. I happen to support
As do I.
personally, but it's always been a big issue with some townspeople, but I still think there's a value to them. My other question is, Tilton Northfield Rotary Club, why did we buy a $10 calendar from them?
I don't know. I didn't buy it. I mean, who bought it? Does it say?
Looks like the town clerk did, office supplies.
Well, she has a budget for it, right?
Calendar is a calendar.
We get calendars all the time free.
Actually, we haven't gotten that many.
No.
We ended up having to buy some. I had to buy a Rotary calendar for myself.
I bought one for myself, but that was my choice with money out of my pocket.
Right.
It's another thing to take taxpayers' dollars and support an outside organization, which I think this is what we're doing. And I know you're saying it's only $10, but $10 and $10 and $10, it all adds up. So I have a problem with this, because this is also an organization that the taxpayer, the tax collector belongs to.
Is this not a separate department with a separate budget within our
No, it is
town
the
budget?
selectmen's budget.
Well, then somebody needs to speak with the tax collector town clerk.
Well, I think it's,
It's in there to pay it.
depends on how the Board of Selectmen feel as a whole. I'm just telling you how I personally feel.
You put a,
So far, I don't think I've told the tax collector town clerk what to buy, how much of it to buy, and where to buy it. If she wants to buy a calendar, then she can, she has the budget for it. If she chooses to buy it from the Tilton Field Rotary, I'm thinking that's her option. The perception that she's buying it from an organization to which she belongs is up to the taxpayers who might be watching this film.
I think they have it posted right on the post there. I know they have a calendar there,
Am I wrong?
so it's being used.
I don't
sells
agree with
them.
you at all.
she
Yeah.
At all.
sells them. That's why,
Yeah, she
They're there.
sells them.
because I bought one.
We've allowed her to sell them there for this outside organization.
That's why the thing is there.
But she's now spending taxpayers' dollars to support this outside organization.
How do you feel about it, John?
I mean,
As far as I'm
I
concerned,
can buy
she
a
just bought a
calendar for-
calendar.
I can buy a calendar for $1 at the dollar store.
Well,
I mean,
calendars
I
are
have
not
a
really...
problem with it. I just have a problem with the perception.
What is the consensus? Do you want to...
No, $10 for a calendar, I don't think that we can say anything about it.
It's our budget. We can say everything we want about it.
It's not like it was, she bought Girl Scout cookies or, or something, a decoration. It's a functional thing.
She had to buy a calendar.
And it's a real gray area, but it was more than $10.
Did you go through this?
I kind
Yeah.
of, I agree on one end that perception is with the Rotary, or well, it could be with any organization. However, I do believe that she does have the ability to, I mean, she could buy Staples and, at Staples calendar and get a Nature's calendar, or she could get one that has cats and dogs on it. It's up to her.
Or a wildlife fund calendar, or whatever she
Or she
wanted to
could have
buy.
checked with the front office to see if there are any, I mean, I'm just,
But I think
we're,
that perhaps maybe...
we're supporting, she's supporting an organization she belongs to.
I get that.
And I don't agree with that either, Catherine, but what do you propose we do?
Right.
She can buy a calendar, she's authorized to buy a calendar.
And if she bought a Greenpeace calendar, would that be?
Yeah, I still have a problem
If
with
she,
that, because we're
if she,
supporting,
a member of Greenpeace?
she's taking taxpayers' dollars and supporting, it's a contribution to an agency, an outside agency.
Okay.
That's my problem
see
with
Do you want to talk with her? Let her know what you...
Regardless of the outcome of this, yeah, I was going to have a conversation with
Okay.
her.
That would suffice for me, and I think that would...
As a
probably-
taxpayer and a resident, I wish you would, because I don't disagree with what you're saying,
Right,
Catherine.
me either.
It's just I feel like I have no authority to tell her where she can buy her calendars.
Okay, can I make the motion now to accept the donation for the SOU, or are we all set with that?
I think we should go to the school and ask them for the other 400.
Which he already did, and they can't do it.
They're not going to do it.
He doesn't have the money.
So the question is, do we want to support the SOU with the remaining $400?
Yes.
I would vote yes.
My answer is yes. What do you think, John?
I think we should find somebody else that might, outside agents that would support that other $400.
Well, we can do that. We have to accept this donation. Can we
okay,
accept
so
the
that's
donation with the
acceptance.
understanding that you'll look to
I can get donated.
to see if you can get a $400 donation to pay the other half of, so that we can stand up with our promise to the public that it's not taxpayers' money? Is that all right? How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we accept the donation for $2,600. It's only a portion of the $3,000 commitment to the SOU dues. The chief we will accept the $400 coming out of the dues line, contingent upon the chief not able to get the $400 donation from the public.
Second.
Is it 2015 or 14?
This is for 2015. This is for the year, they pay it 12/31/14. If you paid it 12/31/14, does this come out of last year's budget?
Their budget goes July to July, so
But if we pay it 12/31/14, does it come out of last year's budget?
yes, the $400 would come out of 14 money.
Out of the 2014's money?
Well, then we're stuck. We can still solicit donations.
Right, we still can
We
get
can
the
still
donations,
solicit
right.
donations.
Yep, all right, well, okay, all those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes,
And who seconded that?
Joe did. Okay, so we did that. What else you got? The budget public hearings? Are you still on the warrants?
No, done with, well, I'm reading this housing standards ordinance.
Okay. There's a budget public hearing on January 28th at 7 PM, Wednesday, and the second public hearing is on Wednesday, February 11th at 7 PM, both held here upstairs at Tilton Town Hall. There's January 14th at Wednesday at 5:30 PM at Tilton Town Hall is the Fire Commissioners meeting. And this is the FEMA approval for the mitigation plan update, if anybody wants to look at that in the FYI.
I keep shutting those fans off, somebody keeps turning them on.
It keeps the heat, pushes it back down, so that you don't get
You know when the last
stratified air.
time, you know when the last time those fans were cleaned?
Crank them up real high when you're not here,
Yeah, Friday night, turn them on.
leave them on.
Just so you're all set with us. Joyce?
I'm sorry, yes, I'm all set.
Clean
Because
them.
I'm drooly right now.
Joe, do you have anything for
I
us?
do. Just had a meeting of the underground storage tank last week. Everything is good with the tank, excepting we are spending in excess of what we're taking in. We have $16,000 plus in our account. We're down. We've spent $2,000 more this year than we have taken in surcharges. We charge 2 cents a gallon on diesel and 5 cents a gallon on gasoline. We're spending 13 cents a gallon on parts and pieces and testing, maintenance. We pay $1,000 to Northfield to do all the work on the tank, the paperwork and the response to any kind of alarm systems, or they've repaired the tops of the tanks so the water doesn't get in, and they've been bailing and grading, and they've taken, if there's a problem with the pumps, they're on it, and calling Whitney has been a star over there taking care of this thing. However, currently, we have approximately 10 years left in our tank. It's a 30-year tank, and we've had it just a little less than 20 years. Now, it's not like milk, the expiration date, it might last another 35 years. I mean, it's a double-wall tank, and fiberglass and steel, and what have you, and we might have a little trembler over there next week, and split the tank and have a horrendous problem environmentally and otherwise on our hands. We need to raise the level of the surcharge up at least enough to cover the cost of the closing, removing the tank between now and the end of the 10-year life cycle. It's irresponsible not to do so. At current dollars, I don't have the exact, we're getting a new quote. It was just north of 24 grand to close it down as of now. But what it'll be in 10 years, Lord knows. But if it's 24 grand now, we've only got 16,000, and we're spending more than we're taking in, you can see that that's an issue, because we still have to maintain old pumps that are out in the weather. The hoses are out in the sun, it's not covered, there's no spillway, blah, blah, blah. What exactly I said 24,000 to close it. It's in excess of $250,000, or upwards of $250,000 to replace the tank. I don't think anybody is, in our wildest dreams, thinks we can raise enough money to do that with a surcharge, and that's on somebody else's head, but I think we do need to plan at least to deal with the tank at the end of its useful life. Cheryl Soma, the business manager for the school district, is coming up with a figure that I have not yet received. Hopefully I will have by our next meeting, so we'll have something to look at. And the next meeting will be Friday, February 6th at the Northfield Town Hall at 9:30 a.m. Catherine, if you'd like to go as you're the alternate on that, and hear the entire presentation such as it is, by all means, the meeting's open to the public. There's a number of different...
February 6th,
That's
Friday?
correct.
That's the same day as that
Class.
class.
No, there you go. I'm committed to the UST. Currently, there's a number of different companies that would sell us gasoline, and there's a number of different ways to do that. We're paying $3.03 a gallon for fuel at the tank over in Northfield, and you can buy it right down the way for $2.22. We can get it less than that because we wouldn't have to pay the tax on it, and there's a number of different formulas for that. Some of them are a budgeting nightmare, and because if you get a slider rate, if it's $2.22, we get it for $2.17 minus the taxes. But if it goes up to $2.50, we get it for $2.45 minus the taxes. How do you budget for that? You have to ballpark it.
With local people, you mean?
Yeah, well,
Or just with the USD?
local outlets,
Okay.
but national companies. The state also has a facility on 140 that dispenses diesel, and they have, near the Franklin Andover line, down at that end of Franklin, they have a gas and diesel facility down there, which is further to travel and what have you. The one that would be most severely impacted would be the bus company, because they use the bulk of the gallons coming out of the tank. So, the things to think about, and hopefully I'll have, I forgot my UST folder, unfortunately, because I have those figures in it, but by next week, hopefully I'll have Cheryl's figures on the how much the surcharge should be, and we can go forward, because on the 6th, we're going to vote, and all it requires is a vote of the UST committee. So, there it is. That's my report for today, and I have no other pending business, unless you've got questions.
My opinion is with the costs of operating fuel tanks and removing them and the liabilities, I think we're better off having a charge card and getting the rate.
And that's a consensus of everybody.
Yeah.
Right now, we're committed in the shortest of terms. We can't get out right now because there's a penalty that would be paid that would put us in excess of what we're paying over at the UST.
An out is a good thing to start thinking about.
But to thinking about 17 or 18, phasing that out for everybody and finding other options. We'll still have the liability for it forever. But that's done on a per-gallon basis in the school, which we all pay for, including Samerton, will have to accept any potential liability into the future. There are monitoring wells now, and that's part of the expenses that we have to pay is twice yearly monitoring of those 2 wells. And that monitoring will have to be done, I'm not sure exactly how far into the future, but... they put it in on fire department land in the town of Northfield, right on the top of a crest that leads down to the swamp and the water table and the river.
Well, times have changed, the years of having your tank in your backyard for...
Yeah, we're way past that one, but that's my report for today.
All right, John, do you have anything?
Not too much. The Conservation Commission hasn't met since the last meeting. We did have the Budget Committee meeting was last night. We had a lengthy discussion with Genesis, who brought, there was 4 people here, Genesis, and we discussed a lot of misunderstandings, or they supplied us with the additional information that we had requested. The Pines also came in, and Jim shared with us some more detailed transaction reports, and we discussed that. The next meeting will be next Wednesday. And that's it.
Catherine?
Yep. I forgot to put my health officer's report in the FYI file. But here it is. For this quarter.
Start with you.
I went over the Winnipesaukee River Trail Association letter, and it is, they did pretty much verbatim take my draft letter, but as I said, when after I wrote that draft to them, the proposed draft, I realized that in the, this is the, too many paper clips. Rail trail agreement. In the rail trail agreement between the state of New Hampshire, Department of Transportation, and the town of Tilton, it does state that during construction, Northfield agrees that it is liable for the cost of all work required to construct said recreational trail. Tilton agrees that it is liable for the cost of all work required to use, manage, maintain, repair, and reconstruct said recreational trail. Such liability will include, but not be limited to, the cost of all on-site inspectors or other such representatives of the state to monitor construction and maintenance when such individual is necessary in the sole judgment of the Bureau. So during the construction, the state of New Hampshire could say, we're going to have inspectors there, and the town of Tilton, not Northfield, is liable to pay for them. So if they could just add, because I believe their letter does not say, it says for post-construction. It does need to say something about during construction to cover us for that event. I doubt it would happen, but we're talking about the state, and who knows?
Right.
I mean, they've covered everything they can think of in this document, which is maddening. So all they need to do is just add something that will cover us. It's 1.2 in the rail trail agreement.
The one with the state.
Yeah. I had missed it before, I didn't. I had, quite frankly, I think skipped over it because it was within the construction general overview stuff. So if they could just add that, that would be great.
Now, did you see, I don't know if it made it upstairs, but the final plans for 2A were on the selectmen's, and the whole, and the plans were there too.
Oh, the plans are there too? Oh, I'd love to look at them.
Yeah, I have,
The break?
no, this is what, no bridge, just what was finally decided.
Bridge may come
That
later.
could change.
I'm proposing that the town adopt a housing standards ordinance. This is above and beyond 48A 14. The town of Pittsfield has adopted this ordinance. In fact, this is where this kind of comes from. It's a little different. They have a 5-member board. I'm suggesting a 7-member board. I've given a copy to Joyce. She already picked up a couple of things, which is why I gave it to her, that need to be changed. If you want, I can send all of you an email of it, a copy of it.
Yeah, that's-
Please send it, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That's why I hesitated to print you out a hard copy.
You know, I don't like to kill trees.
Yeah, but I'd like you to look at it to see, because I took a template and then adapted it for us, those areas that I've missed. I didn't do anything with it. I created it last year, but I didn't do anything with it when I discovered that there was a contradiction, because in 48A, which allows us to do this, it says that 2 members of the board will be from the Board of Health, but selectmen can't be a member of this board. Well, in the towns,
Okay,
the selectmen are the Board of Health. Well, that's what Ian Raymond changed for us last year at the legislature.
all right.
So now here
So
we
we
are.
can be.
So now, yes, and I think it's important that,
We do it.
yeah. So here we are. So that's that, and I will email you copies of it so you can look at it. The asbestos site at Quinty, I did go over it. I did read very thoroughly the report that was sent by HTE, which is the company that the property owners hired to kind of manage the asbestos site. They are complying with 90% of the requests to mow the field, to get the growth out of the riprap area along the Winnipesaukee River. My mind's failing me.
Don't understand why.
Oh, the signage, they fixed some of the gates, et cetera, et cetera. The only thing that they are still contesting is the need to expand on the fencing. So I still think, because they've clear cut it, it is accessible. I'm going to monitor it, Al's going to monitor it to see if, four-wheelers go on it, snow machines go on it during the winter, et cetera.
Will they have signs that says no ATVs, no snowmobiling, no nothing on the site?
No, they have no trespassing signs, which they've always had. They've always had signs that warn people, look to see if there's pictures of them, but it is an asbestos site. Yeah, here's one.
Yeah, I've seen those, I've been over there.
So the sign says, warning asbestos disposal site, and it warns people off of it. As far as wheeled vehicles go, I don't think there's any more trespassing. I think they all say, warning asbestos disposal site. So, that's how it sits with them. Like I said, we're going to monitor it, and we certainly, when we went on the site walk, I think it was in October, with the first representative from DES, you could clearly see that it had been accessed by, like, dirt bikes. So we'll see. But I don't think that's too bad. they've done 90% of it, and we've got one issue to clear up, but that's where that's at.
Great.
That's it.
I have two very short things. Dari sent a letter, I think I forwarded it to everyone, to the light contractor for Tilton School turf field, explaining to his knowledge the difference that he sees in the lighting readings from when they submitted them to the planning board to when the second time that they took them. He also copied Peter Salibas on it as well. So that was yesterday, I think, that he'd sent it. So we don't, we'll wait to see what happens from there. The other one, I wanted to talk about the municipal parking. I think a couple months ago that we agreed to allow a handicapped person overnight parking over there with the understanding that he leave a telephone number with us, which he did, but the police nor the highway have been calling to get that parking lot cleared. And as a result, the highway department has come back and had to, when he moves it, they come back and do that. And that's not right. That wasn't our agreement. Our agreement was that the police call and say, hey, can you move it for us? If something is up and, I'm unable to do that right now, I understand that. That's not an issue. But he was willing to say, yes, let me give you my number so if there's a snow event, I can go out and move it. And that's not being done by the PD or highway. The highway's not telling the PD. So we'll get you the number, and that can be done so that the whole parking lot can be done.
Okay.
I think we touched on this a while back, but I don't think that we really thought about it. And last night at Budget Committee, I thought about it, and I didn't realize, I don't know what the end result was, about committees and going up on the stipend. Did we talk about that? And what was the end result on that? We said no? Okay. All right.
For this year, this
This
budget year.
But we can bring anything up again.
How long has it been? It's been like 7 years or so.
That rate,
The stipends?
12, 15 years?
At that rate?
Yeah.
12 or 15 years? I just feel bad for the Budget Committee people, because, this time of year, they're here every single week, and sometimes 2 hours, and
Oh, you have like the planning board that meets.
planning board, the two...
Twice a month.
Twice a
12
month.
months.
12 months.
I think they take, no, wait a minute, I take it back. I think they take part of August off. But they,
And sometimes I only meet once.
Yeah, the smaller boards, conservation and zoning and parks, I understand that, but the two busiest boards, I really feel bad about that.
We might want to
Just my,
keep track of how many meetings they have,
I wouldn't even think that would hold their gas for the year, to the meeting.
I've been doing it for a long time.
Having been a member of town boards, I didn't do it for the money,
Oh,
but it
I
would be
understand
nice
that,
to
but-
be reimbursed for gas.
Right.
It shouldn't have to cost me money to be
Right.
part of it.
I just know that I was pretty grateful when they went up on the selectmen, because, as you know, we put in a lot of hours and a lot of miles.
it's like, look at the meeting.
Yeah, I'm
Look at
not
the
traveling
meetings this
around.
month.
Right,
Just this month.
just 6 this week, never mind, just...
Are there many communities in the state municipalities that have stipends for their board members?
Tilton's a rare one. In fact, we through the Department of Labor, they don't know how to handle it, because a committee member reported the stipend as wages, and they just don't know how to deal with it. Because I explained that they're not an employee of the town, they're a
It would be more like a
volunteer.
subcontractor.
But we do have them fill out a W-4, because it is earnings under IRS laws.
Well, the IRS.
But under
yeah.
DOT, Department of Labor laws, no, they're not an employee, and our policy manual for employees specifically says committee members are not employees of the town.
But I
And
think
they're
you
like-
could make an argument with IRS that they're more like subcontractors than employees, because the employers of the town, the selectmen, cannot tell them how to conduct their job, how to do their business.
Could we refer to them as honorarium? An honorarium is like politicians do it all the time. You give a speech before a group of businessmen, they give you a $50,000 honorarium.
Yeah, it was
It's not a wage.
It was a stipend
It's not a-
to reimburse them for expenses.
Where is that, Joe? I want to go.
Could still be an honorarium. I used to work at a facility that did that very thing. What a game, well, I can't, I have a non-disclosure thing, so never mind.
Okay, so moving on, we'll promise ourselves to keep track of that.
There was one thing that I wanted to make sure that we did fall through is, when we had the power outage on Thanksgiving, all those smoke detectors that were going off down at the senior,
Yes, I did, I contacted the fire department. I spoke with Tim Joubert.
okay.
And he is also going to meet with the management down there, because if the batteries had to have been low before that, because the batteries should last more than just a day or two, more than 24 hours, so they had to be low and not being checked. So they're going to get together with the management and get on a program that they can check when we went down, everything was quiet, we were checking to make sure people needed to, whether they could go to the shelter or not. Every single hallway we went into, the fire,
Chirping.
smoke detectors, fire alarms were beeping, low battery.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I got in touch with 2 fire people and gave them the
Who
situation.
is supposed to be checking those? The company?
The company. Yeah, it's the company's responsibility.
We pay
But
them
they
for that,
will
right?
work with them
Yeah.
to do that. Now,
Yeah.
they have a senior program that they go out and check. I don't know if they do it commercially or not, but they will work with them because they're in the community and, at least stand as a reminder to do that. But they had to be low before, because the battery should hold more than 24
It
hours.
should just be replaced every year.
Once a
maybe.
year, you replace a battery.
When were those batteries the last replaced?
You don't.
We don't know.
We just know
That's
they
the
were.
issue. So that's what they were going to check up on, and I did that the very next week. That after that, I didn't let it go. I was trying to get in touch with the chief, but he wasn't available. So I did get to Tim Joubert, and he worked on it.
I have a question with regard to the senior center. I went over, and I got to tell you, that's one heck of a door on the front of that building. It seems out of keeping with the rest of the building, however. Is it going to be painted?
It's going to be the dark green.
It's a heck, I don't know if you've been over there, John, but that's a heck of a door, buddy. Solid, although it sits funny, or it looks like it sits funny. And it doesn't seem to be leaking air, but the way the frame is or the building is, it looks like it's sitting like this, or from your direction, it would be like this. And there's a gap on one side that doesn't exist on the other, but there's no air coming through, so,
Right.
but it just looks odd.
It's because they put something square,
Yeah.
In a non-square opening.
a non-square opening. They probably should have had them adjust the opening to allow for the door.
What would that have cost us? As long as no air is getting it, and it opens and closes just fine.
Yeah.
The sweep on
The,
the bottom and.
He asked if we wanted to paint it before we put it up, but we just didn't have the time to do that. And we would have had to have had access to the main hall to do it.
Yeah,
And
Is it
that was
primed?
difficult. No.
it's wood.
It's not primed?
No.
It's wood.
We'll get it. We'll just do a sand.
It's a nice solid door. This isn't
Yeah,
funky
yeah,
wood.
I really,
Do a sanding prep.
a sand and then a prime and then a paint, and that's what we did on the other door to get it to where it was. And it will be probably the dark green that the signs are
Is it open in or out?
It opens out.
out.
'Cause
You have to be able to crash bar push it from the inside.
Most important thing on doors, paint the bottom,
Yeah,
because that hits the water,
well, it hits
wicks
the water, right.
right
Yeah.
up. Everybody forgets to paint the bottom and the top of their doors, and
And they suck water at those points, and, yep.
Yeah. They, that's it. I think that's, let me just look at my list here. I think I covered everything.
There is one other thing that I observed while going up Grange Road.
Catherine?
On the right-hand side past the senior center, if you're driving over toward Lancaster Hill,
No, I voted no.
there's a cemetery.
Voted no?
And in that cemetery, there's a large tree that has fallen over.
Yes, and it's gold
and-
like this.
And, well, it's down on the ground now.
Oh, it is.
It is, as of yesterday, day before, when I drove by. And I didn't stop to see if it had hit any stones. It kind of looked like it fell between the row of stones.
We tried to get Asplin to take that down when they were over, because they took all the trees down around.
I saw that. Well, this one crashed.
They wouldn't do it. We should ask Arthur to, call Arthur tomorrow and ask him to go and look at that.
And where is this?
It's in the
It's on
cemetery
Grange Road.
on Grange Road.
Just up from the senior center. It's a town-maintained cemetery.
Yeah.
And I don't know where if our boundary's the stone wall, then it came from somebody else's property, but it's down in our
Cemetery.
cemetery at this point.
garage.
Yeah.
Carson.
Do you remember that tree that was leaning like this in the cemetery on the Grange Road?
It's on the ground now, Kevin.
That one that was
Down the
way out there?
It
There's a
crashed.
picture on the
John
drive
Brown.
of that.
It fell.
But it's
Did it?
down on the ground now in that cemetery.
It's in the cemetery now.
Then we
Where is
need to
it?
contact him and tell him to remove his tree from our cemetery and hope it didn't do any damage to the monument.
It looked like from the road, I didn't get out and walk around, but it looks like it fell between the rows of stones.
Thank goodness.
But,
I saw
but that's just how it looked from my car.
The pictures on our drive of that branch, and it looked like that was way out there.
Oh, yeah, it was coming down, and it did.
I don't understand, I don't really think that it is, I don't think that it is his, because Asplin took down, got permission from him to take down all the perimeter around the cemetery and huge ash trees, and along Grange Road to the parking area that he has, all that whole area. I can't even imagine that he would just say, oh, no, I don't want
gonna
that
leave
one
that
down.
thing.
I think that one is in our cemetery, I'm pretty sure.
It could be. I mean, I didn't walk it and see exactly where it came from.
It's on our drive
But it's
as
in
well.
our cemetery now.
The branch or is the trunk growing?
The whole tree. I don't know where the trunk's growing out of, Catherine, or exactly where that property line might sit, but the tree is now in the cemetery.
Did you have Public Works, Joyce? Take a look.
Yes, I had that down. Call Arthur tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cemetery on Grange Road.
All right, are we not signing this, Catherine, or are you putting this on hold?
What?
Oh, $400. The payables, you didn't sign
I
it?
haven't had time to, no, is it the one with?
Yeah, with the $10?
No.
Okay. You could sign it and then just say, hold this one, or whatever. Oh, we voted yes.
For what?
Yeah, we voted, you guys voted yes, so.
Okay, got it.
And on there's one bill that was, had a past due, but it doesn't get mailed here. Do all the statements from charge cards and that get mailed to the town
No,
hall?
PD gets mailed to them, they bring it down, and does highway charge card get mailed to them at the highway, or does it get mailed here?
It's mailed here.
Does PD?
No. All mail to the town of
I think
Tilton
those
should
come
come
here
to this spot
'cause the
and then
address
be
on those is
disseminated out
7.
electronically.
All right, so then it gets here, and then you distribute it there.
I think that one said P.O. Box
That went
2.
directly to the
Because it had a
PD's
late
post
charge
office box.
on it.
Oh, what is it, which
The
card?
Walmart,
Walmart card.
and it's like 24% interest, so,
Check with Tim on that.
yeah, the copy of
all
the
mail should-
mailing address is on there, so if they could send it, I guess, to Tim.
They usually void those for us if it comes up on a bill.
Can you possibly get it changed, the address that it comes right here, so that when,
No delay.
Tim
Right.
has
so there's
an
no delay?
impeccable record, so,
All right, is there any more?
I have a question for the chief.
Yep.
Chief, how many bullets are in a box of ammunition?
Got the perfect guy right here for that. They'll tell you, it depends
I
on.
was going to say,
It's on the
Corporal,
Caliber, doesn't it?
description 5220 ammunition.
Okay. Can you just tell me what the name is of it?
I can show it to you.
Because primarily rifle ammunition is usually, it's called a
500.
case, but it's 500 or 450.
It's $261 a box.
That is, wait a minute. Yes, that's specifically practice ammunition, which is 1,000 rounds.
Yeah, we're all done.
That's 1,000 rounds of handgun. The one below it, the reason why per box, if you were to do the math, that would come out to like 300 and something dollars. This right here is duty ammunition. So primarily, this would be 40 caliber ball ammunition, which is a full metal jacket around here. This is a hollow point.
they call it Raccoon City.
Specifics that it has for duties.
I just wondered how many.
That always works, right? It's like that.
It's 1,000, so that was 7,000 rounds.
Good question.
Well, I haven't bought ammunition in a long time. It just seemed $61
All
a
these
box.
things that
I used to
people
buy
don't
boxes of ammunition.
So that box.
I guess we voted good.
It's a big case.
It's sort of a case.
There'll be another one for rifle that you'll
Not
see
many
at some
do
point, and
that
that
too,
will be 500.
Yeah,
The difference in sizes.
and the price is going to be about the same, I would imagine.
We were able to make a substantial
Yeah, no?
savings.
Come on.
Rifle ammunition to the point of. Still going? We were paying,
Yeah,
we
we're still
paid
going.
$170 for 500 rounds.
Motion to adjourn.
Where the
is
state
it,
bid, which
just
is
this
usually the
question.
best price that you can get, right now is currently at $283. So I was able to shop around and find a really good deal to,
I salute you. Good job.
Got your answer?
I do, and it was a good one.
All right.
What's cell phone too?
Is there any more business to come before us in a public meeting?
Only this one thing.
Yep.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
to look into cell phones.
Oh, and I vote aye as well. Captain, you going to need more time for this, or?
I'm not
You're not
signing
signing it?
that. No way.
See, I was looking.
Taxpayers' money should not be.
It's
If I
all
leave this on the pile here, can you shred
Yeah.
it?
They call it Raccoon
It's all the
City,
information for
and the
personnel with
neighbors all-
Johanna and the Rays and stuff.
The fact that they
I just didn't want to throw it away.
all of these different things going with all of these different
I'm more offered-
municipalities.
The other chance, but when I saw
Why bother
all that,
messing with
I
it?
was like, how are we ever going to collect from this guy if he gets
We have
behind?
to do things with this guy that we don't do with anybody else, so.
No. Very different.
And I look at people
Some
who
is
come in that can't afford their tax, and, you know, they make plans out, and they